We're live.
We're live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ian and Kyle Stream Versus System, also known as FixedChat.com, also known as Ian and Kyle Mangle the English Language.
It is what we do. We do all of those things.
I expect to be mangling the English language quite a bit tonight.
And I am looking forward to it.
Excellent. Excellent. So how you been, Kyle? It's been a couple of weeks.
It has. I've been doing all right. It's weird. I've not been sleeping terribly. I don't feel...
That is weird?
That is very odd. I don't feel completely exhausted today. And there are plenty of days where I sit down on this stream and lament my own personal exhaustion, as we are both want to do.
But I did it just a moment ago.
You did it just a moment ago. You might even do it again.
Oh, boy, am I tired.
I'm looking forward to it. Much like the mangling of the English language, but I am actually not utterly exhausted today. It's novel.
These might be one-sided card games then.
It could be.
Although, in reviewing our streams, which I haven't done in quite a while, I'm 3 streams behind again, I think. Maybe 2. Maybe
not terrible.
This might
not
be the
terrible.
3rd. Or it's the 4th. Somewhere in that ballpark.
Somewhere in the single digits.
However, I lose a lot. Like, we have very close games when we have good games.
Yeah.
But more often than not, I think you come out ahead.
Is that true?
I think so.
I don't even...
Or at least you have been for a while. Recently, anyway. In the streams I reviewed recently, which I think was 7 in number, which is quite a few streams. So that's a pretty good sample set.
Yeah, that's not trivial. I mean, what, am I getting 2 out of 3 of them?
More or less all of them.
What?
Like our close games are all Kyle.
That is...
But they're like I enjoy a close game even if I lose. So they're not bad games. They're all good games.
Right.
I mean, we've had some bad games.
We've definitely had some bad games. That's so funny. Like, do you not
feel like you consistently win at this game?
I always feel like I have up weeks and then you have up weeks.
That may be the case.
Those were a bunch of odd sounds. Kind of monkey-like.
Yeah.
Maybe I
Don't
too shall mangle the English language. Yeah. Clang, clang, clang. But my feeling has just always been that we've been...
of inside jokes.
Yeah, really. No monkey dropped a wrench outside. But yeah, so that's an interesting observation. I suppose you've probably got a keener sense of it than I do, because I do sometimes watch the streams after they're recorded, or we'll watch bits, but I think you watch them through in their
I watch every stream, and the reason being is I'm looking for...
like artifacts.
I'm looking for a couple of things. Yeah. Mostly I'm looking for, if the camera cut out or the audio cut out or something, I need to edit around so that it's not an unpleasant experience for a user.
Right.
I also occasionally look for stuff that I accidentally say on stream that I shouldn't, which there hasn't been any of yet, but we are both professional game developers, and as part of that, a lot of what we do and a lot of what we talk about when we're not streaming to thousands, literally millions, tens of millions, hundreds of dozens 2 or 3 people. Of people, involves a lot of secrecy. So, and we skirt that line a lot and come up to it right against it, brush up against it. Yeah. But I don't think we have gone over that line.
Well, I do appreciate that you're keeping an eye out for that.
I just heard today, and this might be something that's over the line, but I heard today that our QA group leaked that they were working on our game, which is not what you want.
Not what
you want. Not an internal QA group.
Right,
an external QA group.
It's only ever
this is what we're doing right now, and we had to be like, hold on.
Guys. Too soon, guys. Too soon.
So that's that. Nobody's here yet. That's kind of sad. Chris said he would be joining us tonight. Maybe he's shocked that we started on time. We usually or we haven't been good at it lately, even though we've had an opportunity to start a little earlier than we usually do.
Yeah.
You might notice that I'm talking quite quickly, which is something I do when I'm tired.
That's true. That's true.
I just noticed it, and now it's in my head.
And now it's in your head. Now the whole night
I shouldn't whisper because it doesn't come through on the microphone.
You whisper to yourself. If there's one thing I shouldn't be whispering, nobody will understand what I'm saying. I did a little VO this week.
Oh, interesting.
I did a little more.
Go on.
I did a little more recording for... so I switched projects at work. From one announced project to another announced project, so I can talk about it. And I won't go into the details, but through a comedic happenstance, I ended up doing the sort of the movie guy voice for...
Well, you're good at that. Your voice is pretty close to that. I mean,
it works out,
you have a nice, deep voice that carries well, and it picks up on microphones well, too. So I think you're well suited to that. Our audience might not know this. I probably mentioned it once or twice in the entire history of our stream, which is long and storied now.
Long and storied.
I often orient the microphone towards me because
Right.
Kyle's voice picks up really well regardless of where the microphone is oriented, and my voice is kind of hit or miss. So I'm taking the mechanical advantage in this situation.
Earlier in life, I had a choice of superpowers, and I selected high projecting voice. It just projects really well. And there's a part of me that wishes I'd went with the flight, but when I think of all the boons brought to me by the rumbling...
For example, you were doing some VO this week.
I did some VO. Yeah, and so there's a short but funny story, which I don't think I've shared on stream, about how I did the movie guy voice for one game that my company produces, and then they needed somebody to do VO for the trailers for another one of their games, so I did that VO. And then they decided that they wanted that other game's VO to be in the voice of a character. Like, the words were written as though a character was saying them, but he's like, no, do the same voice. So I read those lines as the voice of that character, and now I voice that character as movie guy voice, and it's like they didn't want me to do a different voice for the character.
Do you have, so Kyle makes game, I guess they are still Facebook
That
games.
is correct, yeah, they are Facebook games. Strangely.
With some branching out, like you do some phone games, and you try to do standalone PC games that didn't really take, or is that successful? Or am I saying stuff I shouldn't say?
No, that's
and have
fine.
to
That's
edit out
fine.
in the future?
I'll tell you the public knowledge stuff, which covers what you said. The quick version is, I work at a company called Kixeye, whom I do not represent on this stream.
I do though.
But Ian represents Kixeye.
I don't work there though, so it's kind of awkward.
That's true. It makes it really awkward. But yeah, we've got a couple of games that have been really successful on Facebook that are still going, which include War Commander, which I was the lead designer on, and now Battle Pirates, which I've transferred to and am the lead designer on.
And I actually played a little bit of Battle Pirates years and years ago when I was unemployed and looking at a prospective job opportunity with Kixeye. I didn't get the job though.
Well,
but I did play that game for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, which is actually not a trivial time frame to spend mucking about with a Facebook game, and there is sort of a...
And it's really out of character for me. I've not played any other Facebook game ever, and I've always viewed them with derision.
Right. But that one demonstrated, at least in some small measure, the potential of the space a bit. And in any case, the game's certainly found an audience and were successful. We've since released a spiritual successor to War Commander, which is mobile, called War Commander Rogue Assault, which is actually a pretty cool game. And then we had one sort of unsuccessful PC title, which I worked on, called Tome Immortal Arena, which I was actually quite proud of for many reasons, but it, indeed, for other reasons, was not eminently successful. But nonetheless, it was a really great team, and some of those people even are still at the company. So anyway, yeah, we've worked on a variety of different things. There's other cool stuff in the works that will eventually get announced as well. But it's an interesting company. We do a lot of cool stuff.
So where I was going with that, it was a very roundabout way to arrive at a question that will hopefully allow you to probe you further on this story that you're telling.
Yeah.
How much VO is required for a character in a Facebook game or a game like you produce?
So that's an interesting question. So it turns out that a lot of so there is some VO in the game. However, it's kind of weird to think about, but the voice of the character predominantly shows up in the marketing materials for the game. So some of with any kind of Facebook game or with our model of games, which this is also true in the mobile space as well, there's usually like monthly events or things of that nature to kind of help, cause some invigoration with new content and things like that. And there's usually a video of some sort promoting those events to help hype people up for the exciting event of the month. And so that is the area in which I do some of that.
So are you required to do VO monthly? Does your character always appear in the marketing materials?
So there's two parts of it. So the Battle Pirates game, where I do a voice for one of the characters whose name is Harlock. Harlock shows up sometimes. So it's not necessarily monthly for VO for those trailers. And those trailers, the VO, there was a time period when the VO was like a whole script that was, me rambling about, the mission of the month kind of thing for what, giving a mission briefing style of thing. But they've simplified that a little bit. It's just a line here and a line there. So to be fair, it's not like super intensive. But what's funny is War Commander's trailers which are the ones where I'm, not a character. I'm just movie voicing it. Again, I'm not a character for that, but those are very dialogue driven, and actually have a full page of dialogue, which I do monthly. And for the past couple of years, I've not only done that, actually recorded the VO for that. I actually wrote it. But that's recently changed because I've moved off the project, so now I'm reading someone else's scripts, which is a different experience, though not necessarily objectionable. But it's funny to have to, like, when you're writing something you're also going to say, your ability to match your own cadence in terms of how you might structure a sentence happens relatively naturally. You'll still have some hiccups when you're writing that sort of dialogue where when you say it out loud it won't be quite right.
We do mangle the English language here. That's
we
what we're
do.
going for.
We do on this stream. But when you're reading someone else's, you have to imagine a cadence. Like you have to impose a cadence on the dialogue. Which is a different process, so it's somewhat novel. And there was a very simple line I had.
May I make a recommendation?
Yeah.
Limericks.
Limericks do make everything better. So there's a catchphrase.
There once was a pirate named Harlock, etc., etc.
Yeah. No, that's how you start it for sure.
Every month.
Every month, the same opening line. Nobody knows what the rest is going to be. No. But the line was, "Well, look at that." Simple line. There was actually a guy who wanted a particular performance out of that line, and I probably recorded "well, look at that" like 30 times. So you get like, "Well, look at that. Well, look at that."
Yeah.
"Well, look at that."
Yeah.
And then it'd be like, "Well, no, a little bit more awe." Like you're impressed, but you're not like shocked. You can still articulate and like this is going on, and the entire line is "well, look at that," and I will say this, I'm sure all people who do any kind of VO, and I'm not a professional voice actor in that I kind of just do this to help my company out on the side, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy it, but it's not like they are paying me explicitly to do that job. So I wouldn't say I'm a professional voice actor, but I have to imagine it's so surreal when people associate a voice that I do with this guy that looks, I would say, very unlike me, like tattooed mohawk, cigar chomping, muscle bound. Like I'm a lean dude, right? And this is like muscle bound goon.
And Kyle has a mullet, and he's an eye patch.
Yeah. That's well, actually, the character.
He smokes cigarettes.
Right there, you go. All of these things are me to a T. Also, the character has a bunch of tattoos and stuff. So, it's in any case. It's very odd to me that movie trailer voice
Kyle
that
just
I
has
do.
The one
I just have
on his face.
The one big facial. Damn. As everyone who knows me knows.
Yep, that's true.
In any case, it's surreal to see my voice being connected with this character. It's really a weird, surreal thing. And I had done some community shows with some of the community members, and they eventually realized that I did the voice. Because my speaking voice, while not... Like, it's similar to the voice that I do, because obviously I'm still making it. Like, I think you can easily say, well, yes, that's Kyle doing a voice. But when you associate that voice with something, or you just hear a disembodied voice, you might picture someone that goes with that, so that when I use my regular voice, even though they're ballpark similar... or recognizable, people didn't form the connection, and eventually they figured it out, and it was like it was a weird moment. I can't even describe it. They're just like, you did the voices for the trailer. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, whoa, and I'm like, nobody knew this? So, I don't know. It was funny.
That is funny.
And I'm meeting with the Battle Pirates community, and I'm tempted to break into the Harlock at some point to see if they already knew. Because now, the character that I've been voicing, I'm the lead designer for that game now.
Right.
But that's a recent change.
Right.
So that community doesn't yet know that I do the voice for that character. And I kind of just want to, when I'm interacting with them, and, we meet with the community sometimes, and, do like video chats and talk with them, and just break into the voice and see what kind of reaction I can get, just because that would be novel. But anyway, it's really fun. I actually do really enjoy doing that a little bit. I don't know if I would ever be cut out or interested in doing it as a full profession, but I enjoy that I get to do it a little bit. It's fun.
Cool. So let's talk video games a little bit, as we often do.
As we do.
I assume you're not playing anything still. It sounded like you... Did you get back to Horizon?
No. I'm doing the wrong thing, but were Chris here, he'd appreciate it. Which is
Say it right.
Were Chris here, he'd appreciate it?
Closer.
Okay. I'm playing a little bit of Heroes of the Storm again.
Oh, okay. He's probably doing that now instead of watching us.
He probably is.
or something to that effect.
It's still fun. I like that game.
I should say, he's probably doing that now instead of interacting with us.
That's certainly
He's probably listening to us or has us on in the background or whatever.
As one does.
Well, that's good. So, since last week, that's what you've been up to?
Yeah, and I've played maybe a dozen or so matches over a period of a week, so it's not like there's been any massive binging, but I do enjoy it, and as I've talked about on the stream before, I tend to go through swings of like single player stuff and then multiplayer stuff.
Right.
And so I like having those multiplayer games that I can just occasionally sink my teeth into. And House is just a really solid game. It's still a lot of fun, and it's more fun than not. It survives because the personality of the characters and the way they use mechanics to exemplify that personality is just amazing. And did you watch the Deckard Cain stuff?
No.
It's so good. So Deckard Cain is
now
a playable character.
I will need to watch it.
Maybe I shouldn't spoil anything, but it's everything you would want it to be. It's amazing.
Does he force people to stay a while and listen?
Yes.
Excellent.
It is incredible. It's really potent.
So last week, which was 2 weeks ago, last stream, I was saying I was going to jump into Ni No Kuni.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, how's that been going?
And I did for a while. It didn't stick. It has the level 5 game, that's the developer problem, of just way too many fiddly systems that kind of overwhelm, and nothing was bad about it, but it's just too much. Like, whenever I play a level 5 game, I start playing, I take the left turn to play with their systems for a while, and I play with their systems for hours and hours and hours, get bored with the systems, and then realize I haven't accomplished anything in the game yet, and then quit. And that's kind of what happened with Ni No Kuni. But I want to tell you the premise because it's really fascinating. I actually told you
this is the story premise or the gameplay premise?
So, you've probably seen something. It's the anime-inspired... I mean, you're familiar with Ni No Kuni, the original, I believe.
Yeah, the original.
Anime-inspired... the original, I believe, was a tie-in with Studio Ghibli, or Ghibli, however you say that. It was an anime-inspired JRPG. Gorgeous anime. Like, it's a fantastic looking game. The second one is as well.
And just to be clear, it's not based on an anime.
It's not.
Anime inspired.
It's almost like you're playing an anime.
Right.
Like, that's what they were setting out for.
It is an absolutely beautiful game.
Medieval fantasy setting, lots of like half animal people and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the story is set in the kingdom of Ding Dong Dell, where the ruler, who's a half cat person. I'm going to forget his name. It is such an awesome name. Something Petty Whisker the Third or something like that. It's so great. Evan.
Yeah, you did tell me this.
Evan Tildrum Petty Whisker the Third or something like that.
Yeah. Go on.
So his father, he's about to be coronated king of the nation.
Yeah, it gets better to you.
And his father is assassinated in a coup.
Tragic.
So he has to, escape the country, and the idea of the game is he establishes a new country. Now, naturally, you play the modern-day American president who gets transported to this fantasy world after the city of New York is destroyed in a nuclear explosion. So, I don't know how to follow that up, but
there you
it's
go.
such a jarring start to the game, because literally that's the intro. Like, you're like, all right, let's play this fantasy game, and it's like you're in a limo and being driven to New York, and you're the president, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And then New York blows up, and then this wonderful, cute fantasy story kicks off, and it's very surreal, and yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a part of you that's pretty damn curious about how you close that story. Like,
Well,
how do you finish something that
I'm not even
starts
sure
that way?
they're gonna. Maybe they will. Who knows? I mean, they kind of did something similar in the first game. But one of the most jarring things about that is literally how chill the president is with all of this.
Right.
Because New York blows up. He's transported to this fantasy world. This coup is going on. He's like, well, I'm here. I guess I better help this kid with his problems. Just goes with
Boy,
it.
that is
Doesn't really bring it up ever again.
boy, that is some precedent. And then for the rest of the game, you're just this character, and that backstory no longer matters. Because that's how it goes.
Yep. It does have some really crazy city planning elements, and like I had just gotten there. Like the action RPG combat stuff was a little shallow, which was a problem in the previous game. Like I have to be careful how I say it because it's simultaneously super complex and super shallow.
Right.
So it has these really complex interplay between all these systems, but there's so many of them, and they're so complex that you pretty much just like mash the attack button and ignore it all anyway.
Right.
So that it feels shallow, even though there's a tremendous amount of complexity to it. And then I was worried that wasn't going to carry the game, so I pushed through it until I got to the city building part. And I got to the city building part, and I'm like, oh, okay, it is overwhelming. Well, I guess I'm done with it. But I played like 8 hours of that, maybe.
Did you ever play, I really loved the original Dark Cloud, and I didn't finish it.
I did, yes. Same problems, though.
Yeah.
Exactly the same problems.
Well, I felt like Dark Cloud had two systems. Really simple combat and really simple city building, but there wasn't really any sort of mechanic, like they were very disparate symptoms, and that's all I remember. So like,
no, well, then you remember the complexity of the game, because Dark Cloud had those things, and the fusion of those things was actually kind of pleasant experience.
Yeah.
It also had this ridiculously
like
complex
a level upgrade, or a
weapon leveling and character leveling system that I played with for like 80 hours and went, oh crap, I'm not actually playing Dark Cloud, and then I quit.
I do vaguely remember some of that.
And it's like it seemed like at any moment it could be really important, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's too much level 5. Give us a break. Something simple.
I always wanted to play Dark Cloud 2, which by the time I realized was a thing, it was already a rare commodity. But Dark Cloud 2, I think
I have a copy.
Do you really?
I think so.
I should
check.
Cool. Like, I think that it's pretty universally revered as their best game, was Dark Cloud 2. And they did some other stuff. Rogue Galaxy I never played. It was pretty... It was well regarded, but not like Dark Cloud 2. Dark Cloud 2 was just like through the roof. And they were already kind of pioneering to some degree. They've always had a
I do believe
similar
they
artistic
did.
style.
I could be mixing it up with something. I think they did Dragon Quest 8.
They might have.
Which I would argue then would be their best game, because they were working with somebody else's system and it was simple.
Right.
And that made, like, the things they do well layered on top of that worked well.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, I played Ni No Kuni for about a week, and now I have returned to La Mulana.
Oh, interesting.
And the reason I returned to La Mulana is
this is La Mulana 2 or the original La?
No.
Okay.
The sequel, which I had kickstarted many years ago, has a release window. And that release window is summer. Now, when it's May and you say your release window is summer, I kind of assume that you mean late summer.
Right.
But, just in case, I'm going to give my final college try to seeing if I can get through that game.
I remember there's one part, you got a little farther on your most recent try.
Well, I've gotten quite far in the game, but it's the type of game where you don't know how far you've gotten.
Right.
And it is, for those who aren't familiar, an action platformer game. I'm playing La Mulana EX, which is a remake of the original game, which was a PC game that was designed to look and play and feel like an MSX game. And the EX version was like that, polished up and made sort of for modern audiences in 2008 or so.
And when did the original actually come out, the original version?
Around then. It was the same thing. It was like, I made this game is cool, it's getting traction, okay, I'm going to make it,
polished,
broader appeal than people who have played and remember the MSX, which is nobody in the United States.
Which would have been a year prior or something?
I'm not sure.
Version. Okay.
I'm not sure.
But it wasn't like a remake of a 10-year-old.
No. They were both current games. They're fairly current games. And it's a Pitfall-styled, like, ruins exploration, sort of Metroidvania game. Yeah. But it has ridiculously arcane puzzles. Like, some of the most abstruse puzzle design I've ever encountered in a game. And
he did say the right word.
They're also obtuse. And
you've ruined it.
Obtuse.
Objectionably so in some cases. Like, it walks up to that line and walks over that line a few times.
Yeah.
And it makes it a hard game to recommend.
Right.
But I'm even on this, I think this is my 4th attempt at, legit, I put it down for a while and then a long time later picked it up again and tried to...
Right. Now, are you taking notes as you play?
I am some. I take photographs of things, which is helpful.
Yeah.
I have become stuck again, and I have made less progress than in my previous playthrough.
Oh no!
I'm still really into it though.
Right.
So I'm probably going to keep pushing at it for a while. But I'm enjoying going through it again.
Yeah.
It's there's something there that, despite the obnoxious puzzles, is really appealing.
Right.
And it keeps me interested and hooked.
That's interesting. Well, the core, I watched you play it a little bit in one of your playthroughs. And the core fundamental gameplay just seemed solid. Like, it just seemed like they didn't drop the ball on the basics, and so they added these arcane layers on top of solid basics.
It plays like a sort of NES era, or maybe Super Nintendo era, platformer.
Yeah.
In that, like, your attacks have quite a bit of delay on them, and your jump arc is very committal and stuff like that.
Right.
So there are things that modern audiences would reject, but I don't feel like they hurt the game. Like, it's just a style.
Right.
You have to accept that. And I don't think it plays badly, but modern audiences would say it plays like clunky or
right.
It could be the source of some frustration.
But I mean, even when you look at stuff like Dark Souls, which we reference often, I mean, to some degree, there's a lot of committal mechanics in that.
Yes,
so I think,
it's similar. It's similar.
Yeah, I think there's a similarity there.
You have to execute very well, and it's quite a challenging game, even ignoring the ridiculous puzzles. Like, the platforming and combat is in and of itself a very challenging experience.
So, I've made a stupid decision recently.
Oh dear.
And I'm trying to decide if I want to make it stupider or not. And it's stupid. But, so they're offering a complete bundle, a Windows 10 compatible bundle of all the Myst titles.
I have heard of this. I have heard of this.
And
I'm not a big fan of the Myst games,
well,
but Chris is.
Yeah,
Chris is not here. He should be here arguing you for it. Arguing for
my
you
stupidity.
for it. Arguing for your stupidity.
So I kickstarted it for a bunch of money because I own some of the Myst titles, but not all of them. And to have a truly Windows 10 compatible version, there's we'll say there's 6, of which 4 of them are really interesting. But I think I might only own one of them. It was a long time ago that they were out, and I can't remember, it was the kind of thing where I did not have a good computing platform for a long time, so I would play them over other people's houses, and it's a terrible series for that.
Oh yeah. I would say a lot of Mulana's puzzles are not as challenging or random as some of the things in Myst.
It depends on how you look at it, I suppose, but there's certainly I don't know. Myst is extremely abstract. The whole experience is abstract and logic puzzle driven. And for me, and I absolutely understand why that's not for everyone. I absolutely get that.
Well, that's only one of 2 complaints I'd lob at it.
Sure. Well, before we get into your complaint, I just want to say that there's 2 bundles. There's the stupid bundle, which of course I kickstarted, and the stupid bundle is $170 for 7 titles.
It's a good amount of stupid.
Which is a good amount of stupid.
I wouldn't go stupider.
Well, so you got to understand what the stupid and the stupider comes with. So the stupid one comes with an actual linking book where you open it and it's like a screen with like the traveling through the worlds of Myst inside the book. And I don't know why I want that, but I really wanted that. So I'm getting that. There's a stupider thing. And the stupider thing comes with this, like, it's a really high... It's so stupid, but I really want it. It's a stupid inkwell that's an exact replica of one that, like, a writer in it has. That's a writer, it's a main character. I don't want to talk about the plot too extensively, but it's, like, functional. And it's got, like, a functional OG ink pen. And it's, like, really beautiful and really ornate, and I don't have room for it. And I shouldn't spend money on it, and I'm probably going to spend some money on it.
What's the money?
Another $90.
That's not too bad.
It's not like I've
here's
spent
money
on
here's where
things.
that diverges. Mm-hmm. This is where that diverges from my expectations.
Sure.
You have on a typical Kickstarter that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of Kickstarters in my days.
You did. You've done some Kickstarting.
You have the nothing tier. The here's some money tier. You have the I want the game tier. You have the I want the physical copy of the game tier. And you hit that, and that's about $60.
Yeah.
Then you have the I want a box and stuff tier, and that's usually about $100.
Yeah, $100.
And then you have the I want the collector's edition tier, which is somewhere around $200.
Right.
So I would fill your $170 in that around the collector's edition tier. Now, in a typical Kickstarter, in my experience, the next tier is the I want $500 worth of crap tier.
Right.
So that's where I was expecting you were going to go. So going from, what did you say, 170?
I think it's 160 to 250.
To 250? That's not terrible.
I could be crazy.
Now,
well, it's just a stupid
if you go from 0 to 250, that I would ask you to justify your love of these games that much. Like, it's something I would do for some games, but how much do you, Kyle, love the series Myst, given that you just admitted you don't even own every game in the series?
Well, so part of that, in my defense, part of it is that by the time I had a computer that could run them, not all of them were compatible with my computer because of compatibility issues of just moving forward. And so the idea that they're actually going to spend the time to make formally compatible versions of the game so that I could play through them. The only one I played through from beginning to end was 3. And without going into plot details, there's something really stupid at the end of 3 that was just like the final puzzle was stupid. But outside of that final puzzle, I really loved 3, and they have this really odd blend of again, these weird abstract logic puzzles, and also these weird abstract environments that are so rich with weird, like, fantasy ambience that I guess there's a tone to them that I just haven't experienced really in anything ever besides them.
That's very well done, and that's the draw of Myst. Is they are well-written games if you can experience any of the writing.
Right.
And their, what would you call that? Their environment? That's kind of a
atmospheric.
Ambience, atmosphere.
I would say they're very atmospheric.
Is extremely well developed, and it's almost, I want to use the word consistent, but that's kind of a mismatch. But it's like the way in which it is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like fantastical, like fantasy elements, is kind of cohesive, even though the individual environments are very disparate.
Right, remarkably so. Yes, I agree, and I agree that's a hard thing to try and articulate. It's almost like there are each zone is thematically different, but artistically and tonally consistent. Like an emotional tone.
I don't like Myst, but I will absolutely fight anyone who says that is not the case. Now, the reason I don't like Myst is I arrived at Myst after the sort of adventure game renaissance of the late 80s and early 90s. Right. So, coming off of games like Loom or Monkey Island or even some ridiculous punishing games and sometimes also abstract games like King's Quest or Space Quest or whatever. And then going into Myst was an experience that used the same mechanical language as those other games. However, the puzzles presented in Myst were really disconnected, in my view, from the world in some cases, not in all cases. They did ground some of them in the world, and the storytelling in most cases. So there was a lot of, for me, and this is an exaggeration, but it underscores my opinion on that. There's a lot of like, oh, okay, you're in this fantastical, weird environment. Now do the Tower of Hanoi and solve this crossword puzzle to proceed. And it was just like, I don't really understand what these have to do with.
It's interesting, and I think I don't actually. We've talked a little bit about Myst, probably not on stream, so rehashing a little bit of the discussion has some merit. For me,
there's a lot of pixel hunting too, like
there's
really
some
egregious pixel hunting, especially in the first game.
There is some pixel hunting. There was actually one thing.
Did you walk up this slideshow of stairs that's 30 long and on 23 turn left? Because if not, you missed a zone. Like, stuff like that.
Now, I actually agree with that particular criticism. In Myst 3, the one I completed, I don't think I would do this in the Me Today. It was one of a very rare instance where I actually looked up to like what to do next moments. And while I have done that very rarely in my life. I mean, you could probably count the times or games in which I have looked things up on one hand. But Myst 3 was one of them, even though I dearly loved the game. And I didn't really feel bad for having looked up either one. It's just kind of like, it's kind of what you're describing. Like, if like you're walking down this hallway, and you look left at this exact moment, there's a thing here, and you have to push it because it's a button. And if you don't do that, you just can never beat the game. And then the other puzzle is stupid for another reason. But having said that, so I think I will provide sort of a unifying thread a little bit, which is, first of all, to acknowledge your point. That, thematically speaking, even if the puzzles artistically fit in the world, the question of, like, what the hell are these puzzles doing here kind of thing, and, like, the way they feel sort of, like, why is this here kind of thing is kind of an issue of the series, in a sense. But the flip side of the coin is I always have took the...
Oh, don't have took something.
Taken. I have taken... no,
I'm too tired for that kind of stuff, Kyle. Come on.
The tone of the series is almost like designed to evoke the state of mind necessary to perform these bizarre logic puzzles. And so there's a unification of... This is going to sound way more pretentious than I'm going to intend it to, but it's like the entire tone of the narrative and the tone of the worlds is designed to facilitate the mental state necessary for solving the puzzles. That's always the way it's felt to me. Like, I wouldn't want to solve these type of puzzles in any other kind of experience. This is where I would want to solve these puzzles from a gaming experience perspective.
Why do the crossword puzzle in the paper? There's no crossword.
Well, I know, but the funny counterpoint is I would say, well, I don't. I do it in Myst,
right? Okay.
Which is kind of weird, but it's sort of the nature of it. And the funny thing is for me, and I think this is actually, there's something novel here that maybe we can expand upon more in the future, in the interest of eventually playing some cards.
Yeah, we're going to lead today.
But that's all right. But I would just say that what I find interesting about it, you and I have a huge overlap in core and common interests, and certainly a non-trivial overlap in things we enjoy.
But both like to mangle the English language.
A fan favorite, I might add. But there are some areas where we operate on fundamentally different wavelengths. And one of the examples of that I've always found to be one of our most novel differences is how much I have a disdain for Monkey Island, and I hate the puzzles in it, and you really enjoy that experience, and conversely Myst. And it's funny because it really is just, like, there is something ingrained in our brains that just creates that division where Monkey Island legitimately connects with you. And I do not seek to discredit Monkey Island in any way or your opinion of it. But at the same time, I have a very hard time understanding why that's so appealing to you. I mean, that's not entirely fair, because we've talked about it a little bit, and I have some understanding of it. But it just, even though I get why it appeals to you, there's just nothing in it for me. It's like taking a bite of food and going, this tastes terrible, and someone else tastes it. It's like, this is delicious. And it's just kind of how it is. There's just something in our brains about that. It's funny to me.
He says, Laurel.
What's weird is that when I heard it on the radio, when it first says it, I heard Yanny, and then I heard Laurel every other time.
Let's not get on that tangent now.
I'm just saying,
I was making a gag. A timely one. And when I upload this in a month, everybody's going to be like, what is he talking about?
Yeah. Or like, that's so last month.
No, yeah, and we can talk about that offline or at a later date. It's true.
But yeah.
I don't need to cover that ground now. But it's like, both games are generally regarded very highly.
Yeah, this is true. And I think for a good reason in both cases.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting, the subjectivity of... And I love it. I actually love the subjectivity of such things.
Gonna try to be really brief here. We'll table board games and role-playing stuff, because that'll be a big thing.
Yeah,
I did want to talk movies and TV shows a little bit, but we're gonna table that too.
Okay, yeah, I accept. There will be other streams.
And see if I can remember it for 2 weeks from now.
Good luck.
Although one of the things was relevant to today, so that would have been nice to cover. The final thing, since we are talking about video games, the final thing I want to mention, and I will try to be brief, is that there is a prequel 8-bit inspired video game associated with Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which is the Koji Igarashi Castlevania-like Kickstarter.
Is that out yet?
The game itself is not out yet. No, the Kickstarted game is not out yet.
Right, that's soon though, isn't it?
It's not dated.
I feel like I just filled out shipping information for something from that, because I had Kickstarted that also.
Oh, okay. Well, what you did then is you filled out shipping information for the 8-bit game.
Oh, interesting.
Which releases next week.
Oh.
That's what I want to say. And I've seen videos of it. It's by Inti Creates, who does a lot of like that style of game. Mm-hmm. Unsure. It looks really good. I'm going to reserve judgment because they've also made Mighty Number 9 and some other stuff. So, but it looks like Castlevania 3. Like, it looks exactly like Castlevania 3.
Interesting.
So I'll be interested to check that out. And that should be, I think it comes out Thursday next week.
Interesting.
So, and they resent out the backer surveys about that. So that's probably what you saw recently.
Right. Could be. Yeah.
So check it out. Castlevania is my favorite series, and I would spend any amount of money on Kickstarter for Castlevania stuff, and did. You have a lot of Castlevania stuff. And their game, their prequel game is coming out next week.
Cool.
Check it out. So let's play some cards.
Yeah. We're done mangling the English language for now.
No audience yet.
Well, Rachel is hanging out.
All right.
Hi, honey.
This one.
Hi.
What is this one?
This one here.
Did you just say why?
Hi.
Oh.
This is an A deck.
All right. Last few times I've played this deck, it has destroyed your deck and you've gotten grumpy.
Well,
so let's see what happens tonight.
Let us.
Can I ask you something?
No.
Are you playing the Sentinels?
Yeah.
Would you care to play something other than the Sentinels?
Well, I guess I could. With that kind of build-up, I'll take you up on that offer.
Because that has a lot to do with the outcome of the last few games.
Interesting.
With this deck.
I don't want to do that deck. Maybe I'll do... Nope. Alright, well. I'll do this deck. I'll do this deck here. That is very uncommon. I should remember, based upon that, what the Sentinels have been up against, but I do have brain problems, so that's I don't.
True. And this deck it is fair to say, this deck does have some advantage over the Sentinels. So it is good to avoid that matchup. I think you've done it twice in the last 2 times I played this game, which is a ton because of my bag sort. My A decks come up once every 20 streams or so.
Right. Right. And I do have, even though we occasionally say this, you have fewer S decks than the other two categories, and I have fewer A decks than the other categories. I think I've only got 5 A's that are currently active, though there's a secret 6th one that is not, that I played. I have played it, but it's more like a B+, and I keep meaning to refine it. One of these days I will and surprise you with it.
Yeah,
You'll be like,
is that your Doom deck?
Yeah, that's the one. And it's
You also have
shaky.
Somewhere you have Outer Die.
Yeah,
I won.
you did win.
Somewhere you have Alpha Flight. Is that an A deck? It's probably better than an A. It's probably a double A.
It's
and
probably
somewhere
a
you
double A.
have the New Gods.
I don't know where the hell the New Gods went. They went off into space or something.
They went back to New Genesis.
What'd you go, odds or evens?
I don't think I said anything, did
You
I?
should say something.
I went...
No, you didn't. But you want...
I think I want to go... Odds. I think I want to go odds.
Alright.
That looks a little better. Okay. I'll be recruiting Thuggy. Whenever Thuggy attacks, target player loses 1 endurance.
I'm going to flip up the X-Corp Paris. Activate, look at the top X cards of your deck, where X is the number of X-Corp locations you control, which is 1. Put any number of those cards on the bottom of your deck, and the rest on top of your deck in any order. And I'm done.
Thuggy will hit you for 1 and ping you for 1.
No, Thuggy!
Right.
Math tells me I take 2 damage.
Math does.
Right, now I get to do things. I have Long Shot. Long Shot.
Did a cat come out here?
I did not see or hear
no
a cat.
Cats.
Oh, okay. For some reason.
I hope she's coming through on stream, otherwise we just sound crazy.
Yeah.
I have long shot. Did you see? I didn't see a cat.
No cat. No cat. No cat, Ian. Pay 0 endurance. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Put 2 of those cards on the bottom of your deck, and the rest on top of your deck in any order.
You can't win the game by looking at the top cards of your deck.
Don't tell Longshot that. Use this power only once per turn and only
You need
during
to do something else.
the recovery phase. No promises.
I'm not going to be recruiting a 2-drop today.
Oh boy.
Maybe later.
Well, since it's my initiative, I'm going to flip up X-Corp Hong Kong.
Honk, honk.
Honk honk. Then I'm going to look at the top 2 cards of my deck because I control 2 X-Force.
2 X-Force?
X-Corp. And then put any number of those cards on the bottom of your deck. I'm going to put this one on the bottom of my deck. And then I'm going to attack you, and I'm going to exhaust Honk Honk. Activate target X-Men character you control on all other characters you control with the same cost. Get +1 attack. I'm going to attack you for 3.
I will be taking 3.
Honk Honk.
Honk, honk.
Oh boy.
I'm going to reveal that I have Sayobo's Garden or something.
Sayobo.
Sayobo.
Honk Honk.
Which says activate, put a +1/+1 counter on target stunned League of Assassins character you control.
I like that. I don't like it. I'm going to pay 0 endurance to look at the top 4 cards in my deck. Put 2 of those cards on the bottom of my deck.
Oh, that'll be fun.
The rest on top in any order. Boy, that's really a tricky choice. I'm going to put those 2 on the bottom. And these 2 on the top, and then draw them. And I'm going to do this here card. And it is your initiative.
I don't need a 3-drop either. This will be easy.
That's very useful for me. I'd be in... Your 3-drop in that deck is rough, so it's good of you to not have him this time. I have Zorn. Zorn has pay 0 endurance, recover target stunned character you control. Use this power only once per turn and only during the recovery phase. Honk honk.
I'm going to reveal that I have the Flying Fortress. Activate. Target League of Assassins character has flight this turn. While attacking this turn, that character gets +2 attack. I'm going to attack with a long shot.
One of the top 2 cards in my deck. I'll put this one on the bottom, like this, just like that. And then that's going to work. We are stunned. Your +2 attack, you said?
I'm sorry, I made an error.
Okay.
If you permit me to make a slight adjustment.
I'll permit.
I needed to deflect Clench Virus during the build phase.
Sure.
At the start of my attack step, put a plague counter on target character.
I got one. Who's it going on?
We're gonna put it on. God, Zorn is so annoying.
Pretty annoying.
We're gonna put it on a long shot.
Plague counter has been put on long shot. What's the rest of that card?
When a character has plague counters greater than its cost, KO that character.
It's not a bad choice. So your attack was 4?
Yes.
So I'm going to take 1 ping, 1 breakthrough, and 2 for the stun. So I take 4. And you take 1 plus 5. Then I will pay 0 endurance to recover target stunned character I control at the start of the recovery phase. Then I will pay 0 endurance to look at the top 4 cards of my deck. Put 2 on the bottom of my deck. It's going to be those 2. Then I draw those 2 cards. Long shot's cool. I feel like I haven't...
Can you do that way? Let me think about that.
It is not... well, it depends on the wording. I can do it that way. It doesn't trigger at the start of the recovery phase. So during the time of at the start of the recovery phase,
right,
I pay 0 endurance to, quote, recover target stunned character I control. So I immediately recover him. It is still in that phase where action is allowed, and then I can perform the subsequent action.
Oh, I thought actions didn't resolve until during the recovery phase.
Only actions that occur after that starting section. So things that would go onto the chain when a character is recovered during that sort of dead zone, that is where those things would resolve at the end. I've already drawn, so I'm not going to do that again, because that would be the cheats. We're going to do this. Huh? It is my initiative. So at what point does the next counter go on long shot?
At the beginning of my attack step.
Beginning of your first attack step. And then you can pick a different target than long shot if you wanted.
Yes.
But if it puts greater than the cost, you would be immediately KO. Okay. So I'm going to recruit Psylocke. Psylocke has the power discard a mental card. Negate target effect from a non-ongoing plot twist. Use this power only once per turn, and only if a mental character you control is attacking or defending. My only mental character at the moment is Psylocke. I mean, you've got Flying Fortress, which is annoying, but I guess I'll just do it like this.
Should have put the counter on Zorn.
I do have evens, right?
Okay,
I'm evens.
yes, you're correct.
Oh,
Everything is okay. Well, I think that makes this the right choice, and it's a weird choice. Boy, I sure would like to do that. Am I gonna get to?
Yeah.
How does this go down?
I'm benefiting from your poor early game draw. But it may not last. I'm playing a weenie deck. I gotta do some real heavy damage soon.
It's the only shot to do that. Son of a... Alright. I'm squared. Thuggy goes there. He protects Merlin. Merlin's power is Cosmic Activate. KO target character if its cost is less than the number of locations I control. Use this power only during my attack step.
Yeah. Interesting. I guess... If I attack with long shot, it makes you targeting him less valuable. It's less than, you said?
Merlin is less than, Clench Virus is less than.
Right. So, if I get a stun, you'll probably Flying Fortress Zorn. Swing it long shot anyway. I guess I'm gonna hit Thuggy with Zorn. I think that's the right play. My attack is currently 4. I don't think this is going to matter, but I'll read it just as a point of clarity, which is X Corp Hong Kong has target X-Men character you control and all other characters you control the same cost get +1 attack this turn. Does not target attacker defender. Does not have to be activated during combat.
Okay. Going to accept. It was 5 or 4?
4 is the attack.
I will take 2.
Indeed. Yep.
I think I do still attack Zorn.
It's not bad.
For 9.
Yeah, it's a big attack. 9.
Oh, I must choose where my counter goes.
Yeah, go ahead.
The counter goes on... We'll put it on long shot. That's fine. We'll get rid of him soon.
Sure. Okay. So you having done that, so not a 9 you said was the was the attack?
Mm-hmm. Put it down.
It's fine.
Ah.
Just thinking. Just thinking. I am going to flip X Corp Amsterdam.
Too many X Corps.
It's fine. This one has 2 properties. The second one literally will never matter. The important one is activate target X-Men character you control gets +1 defense this attack. It just soaks an extra point of damage.
You're keeping long shot ready.
Oh, yeah.
Fascinating.
So you will deal 3 points of breakthrough and 3 for the stun. That's 6. Maybe I should not have done that.
Would you care to do something else?
Yeah, let's say I did not do that, and I take an extra point of damage. Extra point of damage taken. Flying Fortress is for the attack, right?
Correct.
Okay. So now I will attack Merlin and give myself an extra point of defense, because that's infinitely smarter. If you're going to go for a stun, you'll at least have to do something.
Right. So, I will reveal that I have the Pit of Madness. Activate and choose one. Target League of Assassins Defender you control gets +2 attack. This attack for each stunned character you control. Or target League of Assassins Defender you control gets +2 defense this attack for each stunned character you control.
Are both? Did you say both bonuses were defense?
No. Both
okay.
target defenders.
I
It's
see.
really wordy. I can choose to
yeah.
give them +2 attack or +2
Right.
defense per stunned character, and it must be a defender in both cases.
And which do you select?
I'm going to select defense.
Okay. So do you have an additional attack here?
And then I will follow up with a power up.
That's a good play. I did not foresee that. That'll work.
I am an 8-10.
You are an 8. Oh, from the power up. Whoa! Disaster. Yeah, that'll work. Boy, that's a huge swing. That's terrible.
I'm sorry. You always have a bad time with these guys. I don't know. They're not like
really hard.
They're
to
a
deal
very
with
simple
somehow.
deck.
Yep.
Dare we bump them up?
Probably not. It's funny. Pit of Madness.
They're strong against decks that rely on small characters, which is the Sentinels, a team attack deck.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, to be fair, 3 defense on defense is not common.
That was and it was literally all I had. So I was very lucky that I both matched your defense and exceeded your attack.
Boy, that's a predicament for me, though. Boy, that's bad.
And yet another reason I should have put a counter on Zorn. I wasn't sure that was going to work.
No, I mean it doesn't matter. You put it in the right place. I'd be in worse shape if it were, or in better shape if it were on Zorn, because next turn I lose Zorn.
Assuming I have one
if you have
more
one
location.
more location,
Yes, that's true.
which is not a sure thing. But long shot would be dead either way. So, yeah, you've divided your threat. Yeah, that's it. No more Zorn. You don't got to worry about it.
You're pre-KOing Longshot.
I apologize. I should not have pre-KO'd Longshot because I have to use his power to look at the top four cards in my deck.
I was just trying to understand why.
Yeah. I did get ahead of myself. That was an error. We're gonna do these two. Boy. We'll see if I can come back from that. That's going to be tough. I think one of the things that does make the league scary is, in addition to a lot of KO that isn't overtly stoppable, things like Merlin and the Plague Counters, it's also got a strong amount of stat buffs. So that does make it pretty potent.
I've got Bane. At the start of the recovery phase, I make KO target stunned character. I don't know why I read that way.
Yeah,
That's it.
It's odd. Yeah, it's odd.
He has a boost. That's the follow-up. He has a boost that I am not paying.
Right. Boy. Okay. Yeah, I guess I recruit Cyclops. We'll do that. Cyclops is a leader. When an adjacent character or a character adjacent to Cyclops attacks, target opponent loses 2 endurance.
I will finish off long shot, and I'll put 1 counter on Psylocke, I guess.
4.
Wish I had another location. I'm going to attack someone.
Yes. Good call.
I'm going to attack. It's kind of sad. I'm going to attack. I'm going to attack.
It's a good choice.
What I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You see.
Mm-hmm.
I meant to recruit something else. It's all right. I don't need it. Why did you put me in this situation, Kyle?
That's what I had to do. This is my better formation. I'm
It's a
pretty
good
confident.
formation. It's a good formation.
There was one thing I needed to avoid this turn.
I guess I team attack Psylocke like this.
Yeah, that ain't
I
bad.
don't have anything better to do.
That ain't
I'm
bad.
annoyed that I don't have anything better to do.
Yeah. So I'm pinged for 1. We'll do that first because of Thuggy. I think that's just gonna work, but I'm gonna try to deal the damage to Merlin to get rid of that counter.
So that is also going to work.
Yeah. Take 4. So this is the weird part, you see, because you got that dang card that can boost your defenders. And that means that if I attack Ubu, you can give yourself +2 defense on defense,
That's true.
which is a problem for me.
Or I could give myself +2 attack on defense.
That's true. So you've put me into a very awkward situation. First, I'm going to flip Worthington Industries, which, by the way,
Is an X Corp?
Is an X Corp.
That's 4. You usually this
usually
is
do
the
not
upper
get 4
limit of what you
of X
you get
Corps.
to.
Yeah,
Is there another? I think there is another. Right?
I believe there is one
There's
more.
One more straight X Corp.
This one says reveal the top 3 cards, or activate reveal the top 3 cards of the deck. You can put 1 revealed X-Men character card into your hand. Put the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck.
Man, I wish I rolled with Trigon, who is somebody I was considering putting in this deck.
If you put a card into your hand, discard a card. First, I'm going to look at the top 4 cards in my deck.
Boy, you are really moving stuff in and around and above and below your deck.
That's a really tough choice. That's really tough. I can put any number of these on the bottom of my deck.
Trigon, by the way, is a 9-drop with no affiliation from the set that these guys are from. He doesn't really match the League of Assassins. His story arc doesn't have anything to do with them. But his ability is... I think it's a 25-25 as well. His ability is... at the start of the combat phase, I get all the locations.
Ugh. That is rude. So I can put 1 revealed card in my hand if I do discard a card.
It'd be entertaining to have all of your X-Corps.
We're going to do that. I'm going to put another Cyclops in my hand.
No,
I'm gonna discard.
that is Cyclops.
Okay. And then I'm going to activate Cyclops to play
Activate
Rebirth.
Cyclops. Can I remind you of Bane's power? Are you taking that under consideration?
I believe I am. Bane's power is at the start of the recovery phase, you get to target a stunned character.
Ah, okay.
In a moment, I will not have a stunned character.
Gotcha.
Exhaust an X-Men character you control. Recover each stunned character adjacent to the character you exhausted with cost less than or equal to the exhausted character's
that's really
cost.
good power.
And then I pass.
Long game, huh? Yeah, I guess
That's
I'm
not
doing
what
it
I
too.
want, because my deck just stops now. So I can't stun 2 of your characters. That's really bad.
You think I want Thuggy around? Shh, you didn't mean it.
It is my initiative. I've got Wolverine and the Blackbird. Wolverine says, when Wolverine becomes stunned, recover him at the start of the recovery phase this turn. The Blackbird is my 6th resource point, which says X-Men characters you control get +2 attack while attacking and have flight. And I will form, I think, like this.
I'm going to do something I've never done. That's really, really interesting. Flight on everyone. That matters.
It does matter.
That means this is less useful. That I'm not gonna do probably. That would be nice. So I'm going to recruit Ra's al Ghul. And Ra's al Ghul's power is when Ra's al Ghul comes into play. Yes. When Ra's al Ghul comes into play, KO any number of resources you control. For each resource KO'd this way, put the top card of your deck face down into your resource row. I'm going to choose not to do that.
Interesting.
I also have a Phantom Zone Projector whose power is equipped character has activate. Remove target stunned character from the game. Use this power only during the recovery phase, and I'm going to put it on someone.
That's true.
I think that someone's going to be Thuggy.
Freaking Thuggy.
Form kind of like this, but before we enter the combat phase, I'll make sure you know I have another clench fire.
Sweet mother. And that puts, it's when it exceeds the cost?
Yep.
Boy, that sucks for me.
Yep.
Not a good game for the long game. And having my attack foiled earlier. Boy, this is really bad. I really needed a break on this turn. Okay. You're at 35. Sure needed that attack to work several turns ago.
It was really close. I'm sure you feel consoled.
Yep. Jeez. Sure wish you didn't have Cybo's Garden. And all those other cards. There's not one card you have that is not super useful right now.
That's why I didn't KO any of them, which is like usually you can dump your clench viruses at this point and hope you get more locations.
Jeez.
But having 3 is ridiculous.
Yep, that's pretty nutty. That means you can get one of my 5 drops in 2 turns.
That's true.
Actually, technically in one turn, in a sense. I get one turn with whoever you target.
I think I'm going to pick the one that comes back for free
It's
and has
probably
your
that one.
flight on him.
Yeah.
And is annoying.
Yup. I think I can throw in the towel. Do you think there's anything worth doing here? Just do it
you mean you certainly could.
I don't have a shot.
You don't think?
Nah, not even close. Because here's how this turn plays out. I attack someone with this, I'm stunned back.
Mm-hmm.
You attack someone, they're stunned. You attack someone, they're stunned. I don't have anyone to attack.
You attack Ra's al Ghul.
Right. With what?
Do you have +1 attack for Wolverine? You win an X.
They all have +2 attack.
+2 attack. So you attack Ra's al Ghul with Wolverine.
Right.
Okay.
So you get pinged for 2.
So I'm pinged for 2.
And I am stunned.
And he's stunned, and I take 1 breakthrough.
Yeah.
So I take 7 from that.
And I take
Now,
5.
the reason that's important is because even though now I can put all these counters on Wolverine, which I do,
Yeah.
I can't attack any of your characters and not be stunned back.
You can attack Psylocke and not be stunned back with Bane.
With Bane, you don't have... There's not a +1
I have
attack
one
export?
attack on
Yes,
the board.
which is exactly enough.
Okay, so not
Right?
knowing that you have
Right?
0 stat modification.
So now I do weird stuff like I have to attack. I probably attack Psylocke with Merlin.
Sure.
And I throw in the Flying Fortress.
Yep. That's of course going to work. I can. Right. I almost think you put the plague counters on. Well, yeah, there's sort of an order of operations thing. Yeah, I guess. I have initiative because Bane's power triggers at the start of the recovery phase as well. If I don't get Thuggy, you can use him to remove Wolverine immediately at the start of the recovery phase, and Wolverine's power won't happen.
Oh, Bane's
So
power
I have-
interacts with Wolverine in weird
Right,
ways.
so I
Yes,
have
see
to get
exactly.
Thuggy.
Right.
So the question then becomes, does Bane get Wolverine before he recovers?
I think because they both trigger at the same time,
Well, there's an order of
you have
operations.
initiative, which means you put yours. You choose the way they go on the
I
stack.
would choose the order.
Yes. So you would choose the
All right,
advantageous.
so I could protect Wolverine in that regard.
But you do have to attack Thuggy to do.
Right. So nonetheless,
Like it
Marlin's
seems
attacking
close to
Psylocke.
me.
Sure.
Like let's keep going.
Sure,
see
we'll
what
keep
I-
going.
So,
Fair enough.
because I'm going to be counterstunned from that.
Yep. So I took. What was your total attack again?
8, 9, 10, 10.
8, 9, 10. Okay, so I take
Take
3 breath. I
9.
take 7.
What does that
16.
get me? So I guess the defense pump matters here. So
Right.
he's got 4 defense, so I can only get him up to 8,
Right.
which is not sufficient to avoid the stun.
Right. And I give myself, I'm going to give myself 1 attack because that lasts for the turn. So I'm attacking for 10.
All right, I see why you concede. You concede because I can't stop the stun. I play Heat Vision for +3 attack and give him +4 attack. That's why.
And
I
even
can
if you
swing through
don't,
with Bane, and that's a pretty big swing.
right, and then I'm almost dead, so I'd be down to 7.
I think I kill you this turn actually, because this also has a ping of 3.
I'm down to 4.
And I hit you with Bane and win.
No, sorry, I was accounting for. Oh, maybe. Yeah, you're right. It'd be at -1 because I didn't account for Cyclops being stunned. So I'm dead this turn.
I didn't see the counter stun here. I was thinking about the defensive play here.
Yeah. Well, what was strange about that game? And admittedly, I thought I was dead next turn. But let's even say I'm a +1. Right. I go.
Well,
down to this.
I didn't think I was going to get that stun, and I thought the turn was going to end like this, and then we go to next turn.
Well, and then this happens, and then I have nothing to recruit because my deck's done now. This is my best.
Right.
And you kill him,
Right.
And I'm down to this.
Nothing.
And I have like 2 weenies.
My recruit is Whisper.
Yeah.
No, I can do a search for. I can get the 7 drop, actually.
I never recovered from the one swing in the middle.
Yeah, it was a big swing. I mean, those fizzled attacks are always huge.
Yeah. And that was a hard fizzle. That was actually not a fizzle. That was a reversal. Because you didn't just fizzle the attack. You actually got the counter stun, too.
Well, you were always... it was 1 point for the counter stun. That was a risky attack if you were expecting not to get the counter stun.
I expected a counter stun as a possibility, not
You didn't expect the fizzle.
I'm like, okay, if you have something, we'll trade, and that's an acceptable outcome. It's weird. I think...
I'm sorry these guys are being mean to you lately.
Yeah, I don't know.
You got done saying how you win all the time, and this was I missed 2 and 3.
I couldn't do anything.
And
well,
I still...
that's not fair. I did things up until the fizzle. But I think one of the things that distinguishes... One of the things that makes...
3 is so important in this deck.
3
lets me keep Merlin's counter forever.
We could try it in a double... I feel like it's not... I feel like it's a really strong A deck, but maybe it could stand in double A. One of these days, maybe we try it. I don't know.
Well, we have to be decisive. We don't have one of these days.
Right, sure.
We go through the list in order until we don't.
Well, the case for it moving up, it's got decent stats on everyone, good stats on some, like it's 3-drop that you missed. It's got a lot of KO, and it's got a lot of strong stat modification. If you miss Flying Fortress, it's a little less scary. But Flying Fortress is, it's a plot twist that's +2 attack and flight on 1 character every turn, which is not trivial to get every turn. It's not an OP card. I'm not mad about it, but it's a stronger card. And when you combine that with the already decent stats... it can be tough to deal with when you combine it with the KO. And I think something... this one here. So we're going to... This one is... we're trying this as S.
Ooh.
So...
Trying it as S.
Yeah, I think... Yeah.
That means... That is Thunderbolts, which you forgot we already moved to S.
Yep, that is correct. Well, I remembered tonight. But... I wanted to give him a shot. We played him 2 or 3 streams ago, but I wanted to try him again in the correct tier.
In our breakdown of our decks.
That was like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Well, yes, but as you're saying, you've played them since then, and you've played them at S tier since
probably,
then.
Yeah.
You wrote, and it's underneath. It's for people watching us on Twitch. All these people watching us right now.
Right now, yeah.
It's under. There's a link to it under the channel description. Yeah. On the YouTube channel, there might not be links to the channel description, but there's a link to this Twitch page where you can then link to the deck list, and you will see that Kyle, who created his own deck list, I didn't modify it, although I did compile it into a combined deck list for all 3 of us regular players, you, me, and Chris. Chris being quite a regular player on Ian and Kyle Play Versus system.
Incorrectly.
Kyle has written that his deck, the Thunderbolts, are an S deck. And yet, weeks ago, he played them in the double A tier.
True. There was a time...
And it was actually kind of a close game, so...
Yeah, well, they were always... They do some cool stuff.
I will do the outer diagram. I've lost this one.
Interesting. Yeah, what a Thunderbolts doing about that. So...
Oh, do I have to keep this even though it's kind of mediocre?
I guess I'm going to do odds. I'm going to do odds.
Could be good.
I'm also going to ditch that hand.
I think I got to throw it.
That was a really... That's one of those hands that I have to throw, and it's bad to throw, but I had to throw it, and that's a difficult position.
Oh, boy. Well, all right. All right.
Well, I made the right choice. But it was weird.
Can I do that? I guess I can. It could hurt me. Could hurt me later. So what did you go?
Did go odds.
What are you doing?
Missing your 1 and 2 drop again? Thinking about my resource, oddly. This card doesn't come up much, so bear with me a second while I evaluate it. Do that thing. It's gonna be a problem. Yeah, that's an interesting. That's a cool card. I'm going to recruit Speed Demon.
Hey, you got one.
I did.
You got one.
Speed Demon says at the start of your recruit step, put a 1/1 counter on Speed Demon. If he has 2 or more counters, he has reinforcement.
Optitron says, pay 1 resource point, discard a Teen Titans character card. Search your deck for a Teen Titans character card, reveal it and put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck. Use this power only once per turn.
That's a Dawn Granger.
Dawn Granger.
Dawn Granger. Getting fancy with that 1 card cut. I'm not falling for it.
I take 1.
Did you not recruit Dawn Granger?
I don't have any resource points.
Oh, that cost a resource point is a search. Interesting. Yeah, you take 1. I take 1. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Are we leaving?
Bye-bye. Honk honk.
Honk honk. All right. Yeah. I'm going to recruit Cole. Cole says, Teen Titans characters I control get +1 defense for each stunned character I control.
I have Beetle. Mock. At the start of my recruit step, put a 1/1 counter on Beetle. When Beetle has 2 or more 1/1 counters, he can't be stunned while attacking. He's a 3/1.
I'll just pass.
Yeah. My initiative. That's the thing that happens after your initiative. I am going to... this turn is less amazing than my first 2 turns. I have another 1-drop. It's not a terrible 1-drop, but it's just a 1-drop. This is the Green Goblin. I can stun the Green Goblin and put a 1/1 counter on another target character.
I have your pal, ya boy.
My boy.
Beast Boy.
I don't like that.
Whenever Beast Boy attacks or is attacked, put a 1/1 counter on him.
That's cool. And how does Cole work again? Can you read me her power?
Teen Titans characters I control get +1 defense for each stunned character I control.
Teen Titans characters. Okay. Yeah. Beast Boy gets a 1/1 counter whenever he enters
this 1/1
that counter. Seems pretty likely, not gonna lie. I'm gonna attack.
You should take your 1 damage.
Beast Boy. For 5.
You are a 3, a 5/3.
Who can't be stunned while attacking.
Can't be stunned while attacking. Alright, I'm going to reinforce Beast Boy and reveal that I have the Liberty Island base.
Yeah, I thought you.
Activate target defender with reinforcement gets +1 defense this attack. If it's a Teen Titans defender, it gets +3 defense this attack instead.
Do you have a grudge match? Target attacker has... oh, interesting. That's not what I thought it was. That's bad. Plan B. I do have a Ruthless Aggression. Target attacker gets +2 attack this attack and an additional +1 attack for each time an opposing character was stunned or KO'd this turn, which is not. So it's +2 attack.
Okay, I'll play Shape Change. Put the top card of your deck in your KO'd pile. Target defender you control gets -X attack +X defense. It's just 1, but I think that's sufficient.
Alright, so you got +4 total. You're at 8. I am at 7. Oh my god. I'm really sad I misread a card. That is really embarrassing. That'll work.
I'm going to attack Speed Demon. 5.
I'll take 1. He's got the reinforcement at least. Can't brains.
I'm the tired one.
Guess not. I said takes 1 and then took 5. That's probably not correct. I've only taken the 2 damage so far. Goodbye, Goblin. You were cool. That was fun.
Actually, maybe getting Beast Boy to do the thing that Beast Boy does that you hate.
Because I really effed up. That was a terrible misplay.
Oh, do I have initiative even?
Yep.
Well, I'm going to boost Dawn Granger. Dawn Granger's boost is, when Dawn Granger comes into play, if you don't control Hank Hall, search your deck for a card named Hank Hall, put it in your front row, and shuffle your deck. There's Hank Hall. Dawn Granger's power is also, while I control Hank Hall, Dawn Granger gets +1 attack and +1 defense. And Hank Hall's power is, when I control Dawn Granger, Hank Hall gets +2 attack and +2 defense. And he has a boost that makes him go get her, in the same way, similar way.
Yep.
Actually, before I shuffle, I'm also going to spend 1 resource point and discard this Dawn Granger to go search my deck for Teen Titans character card. That Teen Titans character card will probably be... Oh, man. That's silly. I have to go get Terra.
She's location KO?
Yeah, her power is activate KO location control. If you do, place top card of your deck in your resource row, which is replace
stun
location
a
control,
weenie.
to stun target character with cost 3 or less.
Not a good night for Kyle.
You don't know that yet.
Yeah.
It's early in this game yet.
You say that.
Alright, so we're gonna do something kind of like... I guess that makes the most sense.
I'm going to flip up a location of my own, Thunderbolts Mountain. I activate it, put the top card of my deck face down on my resource row at the start of the recovery phase's turn. KO a resource you control. I can only use this. Technically, I can only use it during the combat phase, but it doesn't matter. We're in the combat phase now.
Oh no! Okay, that is bad.
Okay.
That is bad. I will attack the rear character with Beast Boy.
Okay. I do have 6 attack.
Yeah, that's okay.
That'll work. I'll take 2 breakthrough and 2. 2 breakthrough and 2. For 4. How big is Dawn? She's a 3/3.
She's 2/3 on defense right now.
2/3 on defense.
No, she's 2/3 in general right now.
2/3 in general right now. I'm gonna attack Dawn with Speed Demon. I guess right now I'm doing okay. I'm a 4/4.
She can be stunned. She's reinforced.
Say that again?
She can be stunned, but she is reinforced. Your other character can't be stunned?
Yes. Speed Demon. Yeah, this is the unstunnable. This is the always reinforced.
So 4v2/3. So I have the not get stunned on the table.
True.
But you're playing confidently. Should I ferret
I
out?
screwed it up last time.
Should I ferret out that card? Turns out I should have gotten my 6 drop. I didn't know you were going to miss a drop. Hard to predict that.
True that.
What am I trying to save? Let me think about it that way. Cole's 1 attack, that's not super valuable to me.
There are more valuable things, I suppose.
We'll start with this.
Okay.
I am +3 defense.
Alright. Now I'll play Grudge Match, which says if target attacker has the same cost as the defender, the attacker gets 3/3 this attack.
3/3.
I'm back to being above you by 1. By the way, I thought this was the one that gave attack while attacking up the chain, which is the card in the X-Men deck I just played, and is the reason that I made the attack I did last turn. And then it sure wasn't that.
So, that thing and then the other thing, but mostly guns.
Mostly.
Can't save her. That's going to make Hank all weak. That makes me sad. I mean, I can save her, but I shouldn't save her. Because I'm going to reveal that I have Titan's Tower, which I may activate to discard a card. A Teen Titans character card from my hand to give attacker or defender plus X attack, or X is the cost of the card. The cost is 7.
What a ruined state. Yeah, I mean, that'll work.
I will take 1. And then I will attack you for 4.
Yeah.
I must lose that.
As I must KO a card from this.
Being silly, deck. So I have initiative now.
I think you attacked.
Oh, you're right.
Beetle
You have initiative.
with your opening last time.
You have initiative.
So what I'm gonna do, you see, is this. It's a counter. And I have the bigger green goblin. Bigger green goblin has, at the start of the recruit step, put a 1/1 counter on each adjacent character. And yeah, that's a good enough formation. He has a 10/9 with flight range.
Well, I'm going to recruit Terra, and I'm going to discard Cassie and pay my remaining research point to go get Starfire.
Alright, I'm just going to grab Terra again, so she is KO a location you control. To stun someone of cost 3 or less. And you can do that at any time.
Yep, I'm going to do it before we enter the combat phase, I'm pretty sure. But I must choose my formation first.
Yep.
Well, actually, my formation is not that bad.
Catastrophe is so real.
I will activate Terra. I think I'll KO Opticon.
Yep.
Don't expect to be spending more resource points to search for things.
Yep, yep. And that stuns me. Just
going to be separating out my characters here for no reason.
Yep. Yep. And you're up to 5 characters already? Jeez.
Oh, I have initiative too, huh?
I do have
You
initiative.
All right.
just trying to figure if I need to sweep on this one. I think we're pretty much done. You've diffused the thing that I do completely and have it hard countered on the board, and I had another attack fizzle earlier. A complete hard counter. Which, by the way, happens like 1 in 10 streams and has happened once each game tonight.
I'm sorry.
Well, I misplayed terribly. So I deserved it this time. The last time, so you can't. It's hard to see that coming. And at S tier, that was a complete blunder. I just thought I had a different card.
Missed 3 as well.
That was also really bad. I then proceeded to put 3 in my resource row. Speaking of which, put a card in my resource row. Great. That's hilarious. Oy vey. It's all so terrible.
I mean, my dudes are small compared to your dudes at the moment.
Yeah. Except that they're not, because you can boost any of your character's attack by a massive amount.
Assuming I have another large character.
That's true.
You know, I at least have a character that costs 6.
Because you search for one?
Yep.
Yeah. You probably don't want to discard the one that costs 6, but maybe you do. Even if you can't get it back.
It largely depends on the situation.
Yeah. If I attack Cole, you'll team attack Goblin. Probably get him. If I team attack Beast Boy...
you can't team attack.
What's that? Or if I attack Beast Boy, you'll probably get the counter stun, and you won't have 2 stunned characters, so it's just a free counter for Beast Boy. If I attack Terra, you get to attack me with all remaining characters, if you get the counter stun, which at that point is pretty likely, because you need a much smaller character. If I attack your 2-drop, you'll reinforce him, and then just lose him because he's a vulnerability anyway. So I guess my best bet is to attack Cole for 10.
Right.
And it's not good. It's a really terrible attack, but it's my best one.
Yep. I'm going to take a bunch. I'm going to take 8. Make sure that all of the things are the things I think they are.
It's fair.
And Cole's going to go for your 5-drop.
Sweet mudder. That is bold.
I've got another Raven.
Jeez.
So that gets me to 9.
Right, so we're tied. I'll discard. Now I'm fighting dirty to give an attacker or defender 1/1.
Combat reflexes. Move target character controlled to your front or support row. That character gets +3 attack while attacking this turn.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, that'll work. So your attack was what?
11, I think?
11.
Is that
For
right?
2-drop with an attack of 11.
12. It was 12.
12. I did hit one of them, so I take 7 from that. Does Beast Boy get a counter when attacking a character or at all
I
times?
believe so. Yeah, when he attacks or is attacked,
You can get it now. Lol.
I'll attack you for 7.
Goodbye, someone useful. Heal, I guess. Doesn't matter. We'll let you finish me off this time. It'll happen this turn, I think. No, we'll KO that card.
We do not have to. It's going to be very sad.
Yeah, well, you've got KO somebody. Did I draw? I feel like I did something wrong, but I don't know what. I don't know if I drew. But I've got 6 resources down.
You put a resource into your resource row every turn and then get rid of it.
Yeah, but I KO'd a card.
Maybe you forgot to KO the one from last turn?
Maybe. Something ain't right. Did I put down a card that was going to be my resource already? I have no idea what I screwed up. Yeah, whatever. We'll be over this turn.
Core Your Enders powers activate stun target support row character with cost less than or equal to the number of Teen Titans characters in my KO pile. And we'll be doing that now.
Stun?
Yep.
Take 5. I'll show you. I have Abomination. Abomination says, novel because it almost matters, whenever one or more opposing characters enters combat with Abomination, they lose all their counters and he gets one.
Oh.
Suck it, Beast Boy.
That's actually difficult to deal with.
What do you have to do to turns? Just to activate? Yeah, that's so bad. That was... What set was she in? She's got to be Origins. Yeah, she's Origins.
So he's a 12-12?
12-11.
12-11, but he gets a counter when I attack.
He does get a counter.
For each character, or just one?
Just one counter, but he removes counters from all attackers.
I gotta throw out Beast Boy's counter? That's depressing.
I mean, he's worth 3 attack.
When they enter combat with him, or when they attack him?
When they enter combat with him.
So if I don't, you're just gonna get Beast Boy's counter anyway.
Also true. Whenever one or more opposing characters enter combat with Abomination, remove all counters from them and put a 1/1 counter on Abomination.
I'm not gonna kill you this turn.
Staying of Execution, perhaps. I'll put a card in my resource row. Walls.
That's bad. Team attack Abomination with everybody.
Yeah. So he's got 12. What do you got?
Wait a second. I think I can get 1. Right? Because I ordered the effects.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, it doesn't
I
say
lose all of them, which is one of the
fine.
effect, and then I gain 1, which is the other of the effect.
Sure. So what are you at? It's 4, 10, you're at 11. You need 1 more.
Yep. I have another combat reflex, which I'll throw on, we'll say Cole.
Sure. Yeah, that'll work. I will deal the damage to Beast Boy, I guess, because it's the biggest damage sink. Take 3, I take 6. And I pass.
Should have kept up the turn.
I mean, it ain't like I'm in great shape.
Yes, but I'm being inefficient at finishing you off.
That's true. Sure wish this draw was not the draw that I have. Just going. I wish I had not. I figured out what the hell I did wrong, but I really am just totally confused by whatever happened there. So I'm gonna recruit Karlosofen and Venom. Carlos Oven says, whenever she becomes stunned, if I control 5 or more resources, recover her at the start of the recovery phase of this turn. Venom as activate, KO target stunned character. Whenever he attacks, if no other character you control has attacked this turn, I may ready him. If I do, he can't attack this turn. Weird. So if he attacks and isn't stunned back, he can KO the person that he stuns.
That's your formation?
Yep.
I'm going to KO... I'm going to stun your 3-drop. That's it.
Yep.
Have at me.
Well, I think the way to do it is I'm going to attack your 6-drop. How does that boost? That only boosts weenies, right? Or does it boost any character that's reinforced?
Any character that's reinforced.
Jeez Louise. Well, I still got to do it this way and hope it works. See how much you get. Right now, I am not stunned, and I am stunning you.
Okay. We will reinforce you.
Okay.
I will use the Liberty Island base.
Do have... Let me check one thing here. Yep. I do have another grudge match. The one that I already used is over here.
Which is +2/+2?
+3/+3.
+3/+3.
I'll just use this as a counter for a stat modification.
Okay.
Also, I'm going to put the top card of my deck in my resource row.
17 is your attack. V my
Yep.
14 defense. I have a second Liberty Island base.
Oh, wow. Alright, so that puts you up to...
I'm still 1 behind you, I think?
You might be tied.
I'm
Let's just double
17.
check it.
Yeah, you're right.
You're 17, you said?
Yep. Yes, there you go.
I am also 17, so you need one more. If you got a third Liberty Island, I'll be impressed. Ooh,
Another
shape
shape change. For 5.
Oof. That's pretty hefty. It does reduce your attack on the plus side.
Significantly. Means I'm not going to get this stuff.
I do have another grudge match and another ruthless aggression, which is +2 attack. So this one's +2, this one's +3. Is that right? Did I accidentally flip that? Oh, there it is. I KO'd it too.
So you're +5 more?
Correct. So whatever I was ahead of, I think I'm tied.
Oh man, I think that's going to work.
I'm going to eat her.
That's unfortunate.
You're going to get it.
That's unfortunate. You might win this game.
That would be awesome.
I disagree.
I'm just glad I'm making it interesting.
I don't know that it's interesting. You're making it drag, is what you're doing.
Well, it could be dragging my own misery, but I'm going to try to eat Starfire.
You gain endurance as well? And
I
stuff?
do not. I sure wish I did. Fun fact, that's 7-drop Venom, whom I did not draw.
What can I do? Anything?
Should attack Abomination with Beast Boy.
Wait, he's a 9.
9/5.
Whoa.
So he's low on defense.
Okay.
Could be so.
Is that right? Yeah, I think so. No, I'm 1 shy. So I don't do it. It's too risky that way. That's so stupid. It's stupid, Kyle.
That's fair.
Kyle, it's stupid.
That is fair. I've got to keep Carla. Come on, amazing top deck. It's okay. It's okay, and I do have to KO a card. I will KO another grudging match. It is my initiative. I guess that's useful.
Is that right? I don't think it is.
Are we on 8?
You attacked first last time. Yeah, it is 8.
You used Terra.
I think I've been playing evens this whole time.
Did we screw that up? You used Terra for something.
I activated Terra during the build phase.
Right.
But it was your initiative, and you attacked first. And now it is
Oh, so now is probably 7th.
No, it's 8.
And you've been playing...
Evens.
Oh, I see. So I correctly had initiative on...
7.
7, and now it is 8, and your initiative. Okay.
Yay! Kyle's straight
We got there.
Hey, I have Coriander. Also, I'm going to stun your 3-drop.
Yeah. By 3-drop, you were cool. It's unfortunate that you have another Coriander, just because she has big numbers.
Ooh! Got me an Optitron.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to discard Cole and go get someone. I'll go get a big cost character. That'll end this game.
That's
I will
fair.
go get... Connor Kemp.
Aw, he's a jerk. You can't recruit him yet, but you will
Not gonna
soon.
recruit him.
Oh yeah,
He's a kill shot.
He's a kill shot. Gotcha.
I mean, I may have more of that.
You probably have it anyway at this point. But I'm glad that I made it slightly more interesting. Darn Coriander coming back from the dead. Do anything? You're probably better off attacking with Coriander. It seems likely. I have Beetle and Taskmaster. Beetle, you remember. Taskmaster says when he enters play, he gets a 1/1 counter on him for each resource I control more than 3, which is 5.
Oh, God.
Beetle is just as printed, unfortunately. I can also activate Taskmaster to remove a counter from him and put it on a character I control. And I will form... maybe like this. That's kind of weird. And I can't attack with Venom. You're going to attack Venom anyway.
Read that. The second half of Taskmaster again?
And I activate him and remove 1 counter from him to put it on a character I control.
Okay, that's fine.
I guess this is the best. I think you got me pretty soundly. But I'll make you do some stuff.
Oh, you got 20 to swing back. I'm going to attack. that dude. Or Hojillion.
Hojillion. Yeah, I guess all you got to do is 6 damage. Wah, wah. Yeah. I mean, that's gonna work and all.
Actually, let's back that up.
Sure.
I don't need to do that. I'm going to stun Taskmaster and attack Beetle.
Sure. So I do move 1 counter off to him.
And my attack is 11. I was paying close enough attention to notice you put things in your support row.
Yep. Which was deliberate. You know, it doesn't make a huge difference here. So your attack is 11.
Yeah.
So I will take 12. I am at -9. I don't think I can make this immensely close. You want to use your 1 thing, so I guess Abomination will attack Coriander. Gets a counter.
Oh, sorry, this is not used. If that's what
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
There was
I'm going to put a card in my resource row.
So you 17. I can't get there. Wow, 16. It's a ton. Ooh, what's this? Oh, you're gonna hate me. As an additional cost to play Heroic Sacrifice,
Oh, no.
stun a non-defending Teen Titans character you control.
What? What?
Exhaust target Teen Titans defender you control and remove all attackers from
Now wait
this
a minute.
attack.
Exhaust a defender you control?
Mm-hmm.
I'm attacking Coriander, who's already exhausted.
Yep.
What defender are you exhausting?
Doesn't matter. That's an effect. It's not a payment cost.
Oh.
I'm exhausting the exhausted Coriander and removing all attackers from this attack.
That's interesting. It's an effect. That's a better card than I originally gave it credit for.
The idea being, if I do it to a ready attacker, they don't get to attack.
I eat Beast Boy.
Okay. If it makes you feel better.
It does. It does. Thank you.
That's a good way to end the game.
Yep, I accept.
You hate Beast Boy so much.
So good.
So, I had all of my Titans Towers in my resource row that game.
Oh my god.
Every one of them.
Well, that's legit. Did I miss both 3 and 4? I did. I missed 3 and 4. That made that a pretty poor game. And I misplayed.
Did you miss 4?
I did. I played nothing.
Oh, yeah. That was bad. That was bad.
That was real bad. I did misplay because... And it's so funny because... You know, and I still think this is an S deck, but I misplayed that attack. The X-Men deck has the +3/+3 while attacking up the chain, and for some reason, my brain saw the +3/+3 for Grudge Match and associated it with attacking up the chain. And it wasn't, and therefore my attack was a terrible selection.
You up for the last game?
Yeah, I'd like to have one where I feel like I actually played.
Oh, maybe I should pick a different,
Yeah.
different double A.
I promise you can pick whatever you want. And whatever happens, happens.
Sorry, it's been bad. It's funny. All I do is talk about how you've been dominating, and then
That's
have a
the
terrible
trick.
night of cards.
Yeah. Well, I felt a little better about eating Coriander and then Beast Boy. That made me feel a little... I sure wish I was doing it with the 7-cost Venom that granted me life and was also otherwise threatening, but I'll take it.
we were both top decking at that point, weren't we?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I kept using... So, you know, that card that's the deck cycle, at face value, seems like a good card, but I may rethink using that in the future based on draw circumstance, because I kept putting the characters I needed to draw in my damn resource row. I did that like 3 times. And there's not enough reservist.
Using that card, unless you have a search, that doesn't change the probability of you getting any of those characters.
Right. It just made me
It
feel
makes
bad
you feel
about
bad
it,
about
yeah.
it, sure. Where are these guys? It's not them.
It's still a good and useful card, but because there's just not a ton of reservist in here, it's not a great card.
I think these are the guys. Yes, these are the guys.
But yeah, that early play was such a sad bungle. I feel so bad about that. 2 foiled attacks in one night. Oh. Oh.
Well, foiling attacks is one of the things that the Titans is good at.
Yeah. It's true. They're really good at
I
that.
have stacked the deck in favor of that because
For good
it makes
reason.
the other things they do really effective.
Oh, their stat modification is so good. We had 2 Ravens.
It cost me a lot, though.
Yeah,
I have to get those cards in my deck, and then they leave my deck, or my hand, rather.
The saving grace...
I haven't played... It's so funny, because for that to really be a cyclable power, I need Garth. And I think I've gone at least 3 games without recruiting Garth.
One of the things that's so amazing about that particular deck...
But the Titans are extremely versatile.
Yeah, as I was going to say, they
can adapt really well to their opponents.
they have like 3 or 4 paths that they can go, and they're all pretty effective. Come on, give me a good game. I need a good game. No, a good game. Come on. Really? Oh my god.
Why is this card in here?
Do something like that.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go the other die as usual. I have one, and these are...
There's 2 6s there.
Oh, I just assumed I won because I had a 6. I'm not... Well, I did toss that over there.
It's true. Sure I don't know. Did you check the inner one?
I did not. 6s win. I've lost, so
okay.
You're gone.
Fair enough. I guess I'll go evens.
I don't know why this card is in this deck. I'm very confused by this card.
All its sense of reality is shaken.
I mean, it's a good card.
But why is it in there?
It's hard to do. Why would I do that? You went evens?
I did.
I will not be recruiting a 1-drop.
Good plan. This is not a great draw, but we're doing it anyway. Doing it live. My initiative, I have the back robots. I may exhaust another character I control to give them +1/+1 this turn.
It's too late for this, Kyle.
I know.
Neither of us is ready for this.
Nope.
I haven't seen Kang in a very long time now.
It's been a while.
Boy, I am not gonna... This deck is gonna lose to that deck for sure.
Maybe. There's a couple of different things Kang can do.
Sure. Alright, well in that case...
You're really you're jinxing me here, Ian.
In that case, I'm going to recruit Crime Doctor. Crime Doctor's power is a return Crime Doctor's owner's hand to exhaust 2 target characters, which I may do only during my attack step.
I guess I'll pass.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
Good
times.
Now,
Now,
I'll be recruiting Charaxus. Charaxus can't cause breakthrough. Whenever Charaxus stuns an exhausted defender, KO that defender.
Oh no!
Yeah, I went there.
Well, that's cool. Good old Charaxus. Needed you to not have Charaxus. Oh, I guess I pass.
You don't recruit anyone?
Nope. Joke's on you. You can't do a breakthrough.
That's true. So if I attack you, that hurts me more than it hurts you.
I wouldn't go that far. Well, right now, if nothing changes and you attack with Charaxus, I will take 2 damage and you will take no damage.
We'll do that then.
I'll take 2 damage and you will take no damage.
You made a good argument.
I am a professional, sir.
Now, when you get all mopey at the end of this game,
Yeah.
I want you to remember that you chose not to recruit a character.
What character?
Any character.
Well, would have been KO'd. Would have been the value in that.
I wouldn't have Crime Doctor, and you wouldn't have taken any damage, or you
The
would,
2 damage in it.
or I would have taken damage.
So
And
it's
some
my
stuff.
initiative. I'm going to recruit 4-drop Kang. 4-drop Kang is not unique. Also, at the start of the combat phase, discard a card. And at the start of the recovery phase, draw 2 cards. Because Kang. And I am also going to recruit a Thunderjet on the Macrobots. Equipped character gets +2 attack and has flight. While equipped character has the Thunderbolts affiliation, some other stuff. how I generally disdain him.
So, it's already going off the rails. I'm gonna lose. I hate your deck, Kyle. I hate it. I'm going to recruit KG Beast and Calendar Man. KG Beast's power is at the start of my attack step, target player exhausts a ready character he controls. And Calendar Man's power is activate, draw a card, and then discard a card at random for each character adjacent to Calendar Man, which I may only do during the combat phase.
Go precisely how I wanted.
Gonna go precisely Henry Allen?
Precisely Henry Allen. Attack KG Beast for 4.
Thought you might. Will be stunned.
Yeah. I'll take 2.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That was silly. Oh well. I will take 5.
What now, KG Beast? What now?
Your turn card knocked into my hand. That was so dumb. But that was my mistake.
It's great. It's great.
I will also activate Calendar Man to draw a card.
I apologize, I did need to discard a card at the start of the combat phase, and I'm going to discard Growing Man. Because of 4-drop Kang.
No.
And then I'm going to draw 2 cards. One of these cards may or may not be Kang.
Oh, I should have done that. Oh well.
Osey Welsey.
Alright, so 5 is my initiative?
It is.
Alright, let's see. Gotta get this out. I got it. It's not ideal though.
No.
I'm going to recruit Catwoman to my visible area. She's concealed optional, and her power is whenever Catwoman stuns a defender, choose one, draw a card, or target player discards a card. I'm also going to put a power armor on Charaxis. Power armor says, equip a character gets +2 attack and can attack as though it has flight.
That's a good play. I like flight. I'm going to recruit 4-drop Kang in my concealed area.
Just draw fucking tons of cards.
It's fine. That's it.
Please exhaust a ready character you control. Yep. I'm attacking with
You need to discard 2 cards, which I should do before you attack me with Charaxis. We're going to do... do a pair of 4-drop Kangs. That's actually the right choice. It's kind of weird. And then you can do stuff. Yep. Yeah.
You're having a weird night.
Yep.
Attacking with your axis for 7, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't have breaks.
Yep. We are stunned, and I am KO'd. I still take the stun, right? I'm still stunned and then KO'd.
That's correct.
Okay, so I take 2. I'm going to attack Calendar Man. 6.
Yep. I will exhaust him to draw a card and discard a card for each adjacent character.
Oh, yeah, during the combat phase. Yep.
Then I will take 5.
Yep. I probably should have attacked KG Beast. I thought you could only attack with Calendar Man during the recovery phase. That's okay.
You don't attack with him during the recovery phase?
Or only
everything
activate,
about you said is nonsense.
Yeah, only activate him during the recovery phase. But that was silly. That was a sloppy attack.
I'm going to team attack you for 14.
Yep, I'm going to take 14. I'm at 30. Then I'm going to attack KG Beast for 6.
Okay, here's where it gets interesting.
I'm ready.
Are you, though?
No.
I'm going to reveal that I have... Oh, I could have used that. Oh, no, I couldn't. I'm going to reveal that I have Blackgate Prison. Activate, discard a card at random. Target Arkham inmate's attack or defender you control gets +3 attack. This attack.
We're going to select this card right there.
Okay, that card is Catwoman. Catwoman is discarded at random. I have 7 attack.
That'll work.
Alright, I'm going to take 5 from that again. Everything's 5.
My attack was 6.
I'm going to take more than 5. I'm going to take 7 for that.
I will take 4.
Now,
oh my.
I'm going to play the hookup. To play, choose 2 different team affiliations among characters you control. I will choose Arkham Inmates and Gotham Knights. Ongoing crossover those affiliations, and you may discard a Gotham Knights character card to draw a card. Use only once per turn. I'm going to discard Tallyman to draw a card. Whenever Tallyman is discarded, you may remove it from the game. Oh shit, I fucked it up. I'm not going to do that.
Not doing that.
Oh man, really? That's so depressing. I worked so hard for that.
If it makes you feel better, I effed up earlier. Not this game, but...
Aww.
Well, I sort of effed up this game, too. I should have taken 3 less damage this turn.
Aww. Oh, alright.
Fair enough. You draw 2 extra cards.
I do get to draw a card. Oh, I will discard...
And my 2 normal cards.
Discard. I will not discard to draw a card. That's so weird. It feels wrong.
Was that your initiative? It was your initiative.
It was my initiative.
So I'm gonna flip up Damocles' base and activate it. Reveal name a character. I will name Kang and reveal the top 2 cards in my deck. Top 3 if I named Kang. Put a revealed card with that name into your hand and the rest from the bottom of your deck. And I will choose this. Actually, let me look at one thing here. I'm going to choose to put 7-drop King into my hand. Then, it's activated. I'm going to exhaust a Kang, which I'm not ecstatic about, to play Cyclobe to search for a Kang.
Cyclobe.
Cyclobe. I got a choice here. I'm going to search for... Probably that one, but I'm going to double check. It's probably that one. Gonna search for 6-drop Kang and recruit 6-drop Kang.
I like that song. That's a good song.
Who was somewhere in my deck.
Sure.
I swear. I know there is 6-drop Kang in this deck. What are you doing, deck? There we go. Okay. 6-drop Kang is not unique. Also, whenever an attacker adjacent to Kang becomes powered up, that attacker can't be stunned to this attack. Not super likely.
So you're going to recruit him.
Yeah, recruit him. With a Thunderbolt.
Well, I've got the Riddler, who says at the start of my attack step, I may discard a card at random if I do exhaust target visible character. I've also got Crime Doctor.
Good old Crime Doctor.
And the Riddler has a power armor.
Good old power armor. He exhausts visible characters?
Yes. Yes, he does.
Okie doodly. Alright, so I'm going to discard 2 cards. Let's start the combat phase. Do we enter the combat phase?
Sure.
Uno. Now what do I do about this heap? What's the Blackgate prison again?
I may discard a card at random to give target attacker or defender who is Arkham Inmates +3 attack.
Right. Attacker or defender. And power armor is +2 attack?
Mm-hmm.
And that's +3 attack.
Yes.
Okay. At the start of your attack step, you may discard a card at random. How many cards are in your hand?
3.
I'm going to attack Charaxis. 14.
I will play All Locked Up. Target attacker can't cause breakthrough this attack while attacking an Arkham Inmates defender that is not adjacent to any characters.
You kind of figured you'd have some reinforcement.
Team attack. Okay.
That is a lot of attack. Gotta think for a second here. So, when you declare that attack, I'm going to play Spheres of Solitude. And I need to think very carefully about who I target. I'll read Spheres of Solitude for our viewers at home. Play Spheres of Solitude only if you control a King Council character. Choose an affiliated character an opponent controls. Ongoing. The chosen character loses all team affiliations during its controller's attack step. I'm going to select Riddler. So Riddler is not Arkham Inmates during your attack step. I don't think I can exhaust him to do anything fancy. I think that'll just work. Does he target Crime Doctor?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to draw 4 cards, and then I'm going to draw 2 cards. Rarely get 2 of these guys out. It gets silly.
have initiative.
It is your initiative, that's very true.
I'm going to recruit Firefly. Crime Doctor.
Is that your formation?
Yeah.
But I gotta think about this a little bit.
Good old W formation, really defensive.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to recruit.
I didn't read Firefly.
You should do
His
that.
power is at the start of the combat phase. I may discard a card at random. If I do, he gets +3 attack this turn.
Accept. Okay, so that means since Riddler can only attack solo, our axis is 7. Potentially, it's a you may for Firefly?
Yes.
So Firefly is potentially 9. 19 and 7. You can muster a team attack of 26. That's not trivial. That's pretty hearty. It's pretty hearty. So I'm going to play some cards.
I think you should.
I'm going to play 7-drop Kang. That's the first card. 7-drop Kang is not unique. At the start of the combat phase, the controller of target visible character moves it to his hidden area.
Why are you doing this to me, Kyle?
I think I need to form like this. And I also think 7-cost Kang has a force field belt, which gives him +1 defense, and I can spend resource points to give him counters. I don't have any resource points. Almost certainly going to Crime Doctor my 2 visible characters, and I can't stop that. So what does that mean? It means you're going to team attack my big Kang. Okay. Noted. This is like a need to think 3 moves ahead here. You're gonna do that. And then you're gonna probably do that. You've got flight on those 2. You can discard an additional card for an additional 3 attack. Have to pop Crime Doctor to do it. What does that mean? Does it mean anything? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it means I don't recruit Force Field Belt? I'm at 26, you're at 27. You're gonna have to use almost everyone to get Big King. I'm not going to recruit the force field belt. That's odd. Okay. I shall form thus and such. At the start of the combat phase, I need to discard 2 cards. And I would like for... That's weird. Who do I want to go hidden? Is it Riddler? That strips his power armor, but he can't participate in a team attack anyway. Up to 22. How many Kangs do I have? Lord, I've forgotten how much work Kang was. You weren't kidding.
You don't play Kang last.
Yeah, it's...
That's silliness.
It's a risk. I actually don't want Charaxus in because I need to be able to attack him on future turns. So we're gonna move Riddler hidden to kill the power armor.
Try to reflect my formation as best as possible, but you crowded me a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The W is not truly authentic anymore.
All right. So 3 of my powers trigger now.
That's also true. I guess, the order of operations is arguably variable. Like, it's your initiative, right? So you can pick. I have to discard 2 cards and move a character hidden.
Yeah, you can do all that.
Okay.
Can you remind me what 6 cost Kang's power is, though?
6 cost Kang says, whenever an attacker adjacent to Kang becomes powered up, that attacker cannot be stunned this attack. And I'm going to get rid of this card for one of my 2. And I think this card.
And if I don't, what happens? Literally nothing. I'm not gonna outlast you because you draw so many cards. And I can't get 2 of your characters because they're so big. Or can I?
Nope, you may not.
That. It's so big.
Don't do it.
It's big, Kyle.
Not a good plan. That's what she said. I'm going to reveal the top 3 cards of my deck and name Kang. I suppose technically I have to name Kang first. I will put 1 cost Kang in my hand. The other is on the bottom of my deck. Bottom of my deck. So you know I have 1 Kang.
But that's all of my eggs in one basket. It's not a very good basket. How big is your hand?
My hand right now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So that saves me that. But I still need to do that.
Yep.
I have to do it though. I'm never going to make headway. If I delay, it's just going to get worse. So that's 1. essentially 2. Alright.
Okay.
I will not fire the Riddler's power.
Okay.
I will fire Firefly's power.
Okay. Strange things can happen in that deck. We're going to select this card.
You have selected Tallyman. When Tallyman is discarded, I can do something that I will not be doing.
What does Tallyman do? I'm actually curious because you almost played him earlier.
When Tallyman is discarded, you may remove it from the game and exhaust an Arkham Inmates character control. If you do, KO target stunned character.
You have to have someone to exhaust. That's why it didn't happen earlier.
So,
I don't want to get rid of him.
I'm going to play Chilly Reception, which I may do only during my attack step. Exhaust target visible character. I will choose 7 cost Kang.
Let me confirm that I can't do anything with him. I don't believe I can, but I'm going to validate that assumption. Seems correct. So what do you have to do to play it? You just play it. Exhaust target visible character.
Yeah, hang on. I may have miscalculated. Let me think about this again.
Okay. I mean, I hear you.
Why, that's so much closer than I'd like. If I do it the other way.
I will say one thing that's sort of interesting about the deck you're playing now is the magnitude of threat it has on its own initiative is really high, especially if I can't get rid of Giant Axis.
I may need to rewind a little bit here. I did a math mistake.
Okay, no worries.
I'm trying to. I see that there's a problem. I'm trying to figure out where it went wrong.
For what it's worth, I have not taken any action, so I have no qualms with the rewind to wherever you feel is necessary.
So that's that, and then that's that.
I'm with you so far. That is that.
Have to use his power? That doesn't seem right.
Lulz.
Which makes it a straight gamble, which is not great. Which one do I have to not use?
This is getting vaguer and vaguer. I'm sure it's congealing in your head into some manner of specific outcome, but...
I have to flip a friggin' coin.
Heads.
I have to flip the friggin' coin.
Heads.
So bad if it doesn't work. I also have to use Riddler's power.
Oh my god. And that will exhaust target character, target visible.
Target visible character.
You have to use Riddler's power. What? Yeah, okay, alright. So there you go. That'll be the card.
It's my other Tallyman. I needed it not to be Tallyman.
I'm sorry, it was Tallyman. I'll be curious.
Exhausted.
That's true. That's true. That does not fizzle. Yep.
Well, that frees up what I get to do a little bit.
That's true. I do have 4-drop Kang. I actually have 4-drop Kangs. In case you were wondering.
I just go for it straight up.
Straight up.
So pairwise, it's like that, and then like that.
The first Tally Man was for him, right? It was
yes.
First Tally Man, second Tally Man.
So it doesn't matter when I pop Crime Doctor. I'm going to team attack, 7 cost to Kang. Like so.
Okay. So your attack is 19. It's actually just going to work. I'm going to deal the damage to your 5 cost.
I'm going to draw a card.
That's when she stuns? I thought it was when she dealt breakthrough.
Stuns a defender.
Stuns a defender, fair enough. So I take 7, and you do take 5. I'm at 19.
And I'm going to pop Crime Doctor to exhaust the remaining parts of your team. They are exhausted.
They're totally exhausted. Kang's so exhausted, y'all. I will pass.
I'm going to team attack your remaining team.
Riddler does not have team ability.
Oh, friggin' Riddler.
I'm sorry.
Riddler.
I apologize for not
Let's throw him in that last attack then.
What's that?
Let's throw Charaxes in that last attack then.
Fair enough.
I'll let you redirect if you would prefer to have stunned.
No, it's still the right. Is that true? Yeah, that's still the right choice to deal the damage. I accept. I will still pass.
That was working. I always forget, like, it's really hard to keep tabs on Spheres of Solitude.
Yeah. I mean,
such
what's the yellow counter for?
To remind me that... Fine. Obviously.
Oh, lousy.
I wouldn't want to forget.
I'm now going to draw 6 cards. That's pretty amazing. Okay. It is my initiative. So that's cool. I'm going to... I thought I had a card. I don't know where that card is. Card? That one? Oh, no. I know where that card is. Okay. So I'm going to recruit... We're in turn 8. You might have a crazy late drop in that deck. And I don't remember when that shows up. So what I'm going to do, you see, is I'm going to recruit... Seven cost Kang.
I'm going to reveal that I have another of the hookup, so I can stack them.
I accept. And then I am going to also recruit 1-drop Kang. 7-drop Kang we remember. 1-drop Kang says, return Kang to his owner's hand. Target Kang Council, attacker, or defender you control gets +1/+1 this attack. I'm also going to reveal the top 3 cards of my deck, as I have just named Kang. Come on, Kang. Alright, we got a Kang. At the end of the day...
Maybe I can run you out of your deck.
Yeah. It is getting a bit thin. I think now we put a force field belt on 7-drop Kang. Get him, Kangs.
You recruit Anarchy.
Aww.
Whenever Anarchy attacks an exhausted character, that character can't ready this turn, and then I'm going to play the usual suspects. Search your deck for 2 different Arkham Inmates character cards with the same cost. Reveal them and put it in your hand and discard 2 cards at random.
What that other card was you had. Maybe we'll see it.
So, that's an option. That actually might be a good option in this circumstance specifically. means the other thing I go get is Cagey Beast. So I get Cagey Beast and the Penguin. No, I don't have any more 4-drops. That's fine.
I'm gonna get 2 cards ready to discard here. One, and I gotta think about the other. We're gonna pick this card. I'm picking 2.
Yep. When Harley Quinn is discarded, you may remove her from the game. If you do, target character gets -2 defense this turn.
Which character do you select?
I don't frickin' know. Somebody. Once told me the world.
I knew it. I knew we were going there. I was resisting. I want you to know I was consciously resisting.
Can't resist. There's no resistance. I think it's gonna be the. I think it's gonna be 6-drop cannon.
Not a bad choice.
Proceed.
Oh yes, but I haven't done yet. This card will be discarded.
Enough Cagey Beast. You were one I wanted to keep. I'm not batting really well for that.
Yeah.
Alright, so what else I got going on? Let me look at my hand. Who's left? Okay. Let me look at my KO pile. Okay. Let me look at my resource row.
Did you do searching a minute ago for cards?
Yeah.
You did some with Catwoman, I guess.
So what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to do searching with Catwoman. I'm do searching with a plot twist. So I'm going to discard the Penguin to draw a card.
How are you discarding the Penguin?
You just using the hook.
Oh, I see.
Whenever the Penguin is discarded, I may remove it from the game. If I do, return Arkham Inmates character card from your KO pile to your hand. I'll get Cagey Beast.
Sure.
Then I'll recruit Cagey Beast and Crime Doctor.
Oh, Crime Doctor.
No adjacencies.
No adjacencies. You can just say it. We're good.
Actually, I'm going to recruit Crime Doctor.
Interesting. Okay.
I did get to draw a card for that. I think I didn't yet, because I drew for...
So, Crime Doctors exhaust any 2 characters.
We'll see that on the tape, see if I have an extra card now or not.
Riddler has discard a card to exhaust a visible character, and Cagey Beast is I exhaust a character of my choosing.
Yes.
Are all those correct? Are there any other exhaust powers on the board?
Nope.
Okay. So, start of the combat phase happens. It's
I might reform.
okay.
Just give me a second.
Yeah. Whoa, wait a minute. You're reforming. That's blowing my mind. I don't
I'm
know.
going to do this. I'm going to put some characters adjacent to each other.
All right.
What?
I am so uncomfortable right now. That's not how this is supposed to work. Whoa. How many cards in your hand?
3.
Still 3 cards. Alright. Start of the combat phase, I discard 2 cards. I discard 1 Kang and 1 Growing Man. Then, I will select a character to move hidden. I think it's got to be Jaraxxus. Pop that blasted power. So I have no other start of the combat phase stuff. You now have your start of the combat phase.
I only one start of the combat phase, which is Firefly.
I think you have two. Riddler is start of combat
Riddler
phase.
is start of my attack.
Oh, okay.
I will not be discarding a card for Firefly this time.
So all the start of the phase stuff is fired.
Correct.
So now, do I go for Crime Doctor? Which would greatly increase my threat level. Which I like. Do I go for Catwoman? Which is also not a bad choice, because it's going to deal you a fair amount of damage and prevent you from drawing extra cards, which I like. That might be the correct choice. It might be Catwoman, which is interesting. You're going to anarchy me, which is annoying.
You don't have to hit Catwoman with your visible characters.
That's true. But I don't like the idea of getting stunned back, since you have a slight life advantage. So your visible characters have adjacency? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do your hidden characters have adjacency?
No, we'll say no.
Okay. Just to get it on the record. So... yeah, I'm going to attack Catwoman with Big Kang.
Okay.
I'm sure you have a reinforcement card, but I'm going to make you use it.
Reinforcement card?
That's right, because he doesn't need to activate. Sure. I'm going to do one slightly obnoxious thing, and Sphere's Charaxis.
That's pretty obnoxious. Well, with a million cards in your hand, I knew it was coming.
Yeah, sooner or later. He's ironically, even hidden and without that power armor, you continually team attacking with him is a huge threat to me getting any kind of board advantage.
So, I am going to use Riddler's power.
Sure. Which is visible. I can't stop that, so I'll just exhaust.
And then I'm going to ask you to exhaust a ready character you control.
Right, I'll do that momentarily. We'll select the middle card this time.
Lost another Firefly.
I'm going to exhaust one drop Kang. Since, like Crime Doctor, he can still be popped.
I will exhaust your two remaining characters.
Yeah.
Stun Anarchy? And that's it?
Does he have flight? You hitting the 7-drop?
Yeah.
Okay. Could be it.
Anything else I do, I mean, it gains me a very slight amount of life, but it doesn't change the board state at all, so it's silly to do.
Right. Alright, so he doesn't ready, but he's got his defense back. I'm going to draw 6 cards. I might deck myself. This is actually starting to be a concern. What? Do you just lose?
I don't know. We've never done it. Where's Chris?
So... I technically have 3 turns before I deck myself, but it's close.
I'll consider that a win. Okay. So, 2, 4, 6, 8 resource points. But my initiative because it's turn 9.
I am going to look at the top 3 cards of my deck after naming Kang. Only 1 Kang. I'll take it. If I draw 1 more card, then in 2 turns my deck is empty.
I'm going to recruit Crime Doctor, Anarchy, or this Riddler.
Oh, interesting. That's a Riddler that has a team affiliation.
And now we're in the W formation again. Oh my God. It's an M formation. It's a paisley pattern.
Alright, so you are formed. Is that accurate? You are formed?
Shut up. Yes.
Okay, so just so we're clear, you've got an M and 2 hidden characters.
Correct.
Okay. So, it's ironic that I wish I hadn't thrown out all my growing men. That would be useful now. So I have 1-drop Kang. Hold on, I'm going to put down a resource. 9. I also have another 1-drop Kang. So I'm down to 7 resource points. Playing 6-drop Kang. So I'm down to 1 resource point. And I'm going to exhaust a Kang to search for a Kang. It's 1-drop Kang.
Shocker.
I do need to think about how all my hidden Kangs work. I don't understand what's happening. I love Kang so much, Ian. I don't have any idea what's going on. All I know is it's 16 to 19 on turn 9. I have 6 hidden characters.
That's your deck?
Yeah.
Sure that's not your hand?
I had to look through my hand to find all the 1-drops I wanted to recruit. I actually think this is how I form. Is that true? That's weird.
Okay.
I guess I form like this.
Please exhaust a ready character you control.
Okay. So just so we're clear, I do have to discard 2 cards, and I get to choose someone to be hidden.
Do your stuff.
So I'm going to discard a Framostat. Could have recruited the Framostat. Yeah, I'm going to discard the Framostat. That might actually be better. And you have 1 easy discard, which is the Macrobots. Okay, so I've discarded. Now I have to decide someone to go hidden. All right.
Oh God.
I think I'm gonna decide that. I think it's Firefly. All right. Now you can do your stuff.
Please exhaust a ready character you control. I'm going to exhaust with Riddler's power. Who does he...
Target visible.
Target visible. I'm going to exhaust this guy. And then I'm going to team attack this 6-drop. Like so.
You're gonna exhaust them with Crime Doctor?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. What's your attack? Your attack is 17?
Yeah.
You can get another 3 with what? Well, is that true?
I have no cards in hand.
Alright, so correct me if I'm wrong, but the tricksy thing you could do is pop Crime Doctor to exhaust 2 characters and then discard for 3.
How about that?
Sure.
How about that?
It's probably a safer way to do it. How about that? But you do get to draw a card when Catwoman stuns someone. Need to do some math. What is your attack?
21.
21.
8 Kangs. 9 Kangs that you're willing to spend on this attack. 10 Kangs.
Maybe you don't know me. 21.
Yeah.
But you also have 3 more. You get up to 24.
In a real dire situation. It would be very costly for me.
Is the first bottleneck. My defense, if nothing changes, is 12. So 12 is my starting point. So you get a 24.
I can throw Firefly in there. There's no literally. There's nothing I can do but stall until you run out of cards and win.
I really don't know what happens if my deck is empty, but it'll happen soon. So
I'm not even sure I can stall that long. Now there you go.
Well, I think it's only 2 turns. Okay, attack. All right. It's a pretty large number at
27.
This point. Yes. So I am going to. We're not gonna Kang Explosion. I think you got me when you throw Firefly in. Even with a hand and all these cards, that's a pretty tall effing order. So I'm going to deal the damage to Catwoman. Unsurprisingly, take 6, so I'm at 13.
I will take 5 and draw a card and return Crime Doctor to my hand to exhaust your 2 6-drops.
I'll pass.
Stun Anarchy.
God dang it! Same 7-drop, I assume.
Yep. Slowly bleeding out.
Yeah. Yep. I pass again. Is this turn 10?
Yeah.
So I draw a bunch of cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me see if I mathed it right. I'm curious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly 10 cards in my deck. I do have 2 more turns.
I'm gonna run out of life before then.
No, I'm really. Even Kang isn't really prepared for turn 10. I don't really know how the things.
So I'm going to recruit Anarchy.
Oh man, is it your initiative? I guess
so.
It is. It probably is. Yeah.
Is that right?
What's evens? I don't know.
What did I do last turn?
I don't know. Did I attack or did you attack?
No, I attacked first. So that's your initiative.
Alright, so I have. So I'll recruit.
I can't survive your initiative.
I have a growing man.
Oh no.
This is a 3-drop. I also have another 3-drop, which is Hidden Kang. He's in the front row. That's the Kang that says you may not power up. That's 6 points. I think I have to recruit 4-drop Kang, which is absurd. I'm going to recruit 4-drop Kang. If he would come into play during the recruit step, instead remove him from the game, and at the start of the recovery phase, he comes back into my front row. So he's not really recruited. That's all my remaining resource points.
I'm so outmatched. I can't stop the Kang wave. any longer.
It's been building up for a while. You haven't let me attack.
What recourse did I have?
Oh.
So... I'm going to recruit Anarchy.
Oh, god dang it.
And Calendar Man. Crime Doctor. And Charaxis.
Oh my god. Oh, you got a Charaxis. I see how it is. How do you form?
Whatever. That's fine.
Okay, thus and such. Well, so I've got to attempt to actually deal you meaningful damage this turn, and the only way to do that is if Growing Man attacks Crime Doctor. He's gonna get bigger. I don't know how much. It almost doesn't matter.
You make it lethal, right? At least.
I gotta get it to be enough that you're dead if I then also stun Catwoman. I think that's the goal that I do. So does that do it? Because if I throw all my eggs into one basket on Growing Man right out of the gate and you reinforce, maybe there's other things I can do with my Kangs. I guess one drop Kang probably doesn't do much, so we'll throw him in too. Did I even read Growing Man? Exhaust a character named Kang you control to give him a counter. That's what Growing Man does. So right now, I am an 8/7 attacking your Crime Doctor. Yep. We're doing some creative things this game.
That would deal me 7 damage.
I mean, it's been enough time you've got at least one of those dang things.
I have another all active. Okay. Did you hide somebody?
Nope.
You should have.
Yeah. Riddler, I guess.
Did you discard cards? You should have done that too.
I think I did I discard? I didn't discard. I'll discard.
I'm going to exhaust this Kang. Please exhaust a written character control.
We're gonna do this guy. No, we're gonna do this guy. Yeah. And he's back row somewhere. There.
You said he was front row. You said he was super front row.
I said he was front row, which didn't.
Which is back row.
Well, yeah, in advantage.
That's how I should have taken that.
I'll leave him in the front row, but I just want him on camera.
Okay.
Not a consequential positioning for me.
Should I go out with a bang? Like, that's the end of what I'm going to do this game. Like, KO your 7-drop. That would be kind of fun. You KO Growing Man.
You can't KO my... You might be able to KO my 7-drop. I don't know if you can KO my 7-drop.
I'm quite a bit... Well, maybe not.
I don't know. I haven't done the Kang explosion yet. You can team attack now.
It would be a tall order. For, I would like 35 attack on the table.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's how we're going out.
Yeah,
then.
I don't.
We're doing it. Roar! Everyone attack 7.
All right. Well, add it up. Let's have a chuckle and see if I can
14,
do it.
14, 21, 26, 27, 28, and he can't ready this turn. 34.
30. So you were off because you said 35. Okay. So it's Did you fire a thing for Firefly? I can't recall.
I did not.
Okay. So 34 is the number. 14. I'm just going to sanity check it. Yeah, 10, 20.
Everyone is as printed.
10. I got 32 and then Anarchy for 34. Okay. And if you can find a way to discard a card, which doesn't seem super likely, you can get another 3. 34.
I have to find a way to get something in my hand.
All right.
Yeah,
so let's see if I can get 19 out of this. We'll start with 4.
There's an 8 there total, right?
Yeah. I haven't discarded them yet. Probably gonna. Then I have a Timekeepers to give a defender +2 defense. If that character is named Kang, an additional 1 defense, so 2 total. You do have more of them.
I might not be able to get your Kang. That'd be funny. Do you have all of them?
I do not have all of them. I think it's just 3. So that is 6. So we're at +10 defense.
That is 9.
Popped 4 1-drop Kangs. Right, I need 9 more.
No, that is 9.
This is 6.
Why is it 6?
And then I popped 4 to my hand.
Read that card again.
Target defender you control gets +1 defenseless attack. If that character is named Kang, it gets an additional +1 defenseless attack.
So that is 9. Each one of those worth 3 defense.
No, sorry, it's 1 and 1. Target defender you control gets 1.
I'm sorry, I thought you said 2.
I may have misspoken. So it is only 6 total from these.
Then
and 4 from the pop, so I am at 10.
Sure.
Total defense added.
You 10 more. You probably got it. That's not that hard to do. I know you have 4.
You know I have 4.
So you only need to throw a 6, and you need 1 more. So no, you don't actually. 6 more Kangs, in addition to the 4.
So there's 4. I still need 6 more. 4.
2 more.
And I'm shrunk.
There you go.
Haha! I have foiled one of your attacks. I deal the Catwoman. Deal the Catwoman.
I take Catwoman damage.
And do I actually have the 1 attacker?
I'm not going to do about it.
Do you have any more reinforcement?
No.
Okay. Because if you
did...
No,
I'm really tapped out.
Okay, fair enough. I hit Calendar Man and we call it a day.
Exhausting all of Kang throughout history for 10 turns took all of my resources.
I'm just going to put these 9 cards here. And for anyone wondering, in my Kang deck remains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards. And in my hand, I am down to 4. None of which were Kang. I actually used up every Kang.
By the way, my deck stops at 5.
But it stalls really, really well.
Did you enjoy that game? Was that a good game to go out on?
I will take it. I hope you enjoyed it as well.
No, I mean, like, I was absolutely certain I would not win that game around turn 6 or 7.
Right. I started to feel like I was getting at my I thought I had you on 6, and then somewhere in there you recruited another Char Axis, because what was happening is you were stalling me and locking me down, and then KOing one thing and I was KOing nothing. I was dealing you more damage than you were dealing me, just because of the way that was working. But losing a big cost Kang, there's a point where that's actually going to be an issue for me. And that was my biggest concern. So fortunately I did have a second Spheres, which slowed you down a little bit, but then getting that other one again.
And if
I mean, it was very weird.
I'm not sure the attacks would have succeeded. Oh no, they would. I forgot this friggin' Spheres. That one turn, I had calculated. I forgot that that Riddler couldn't team attack.
Right.
And I calculated that I could kill both of your Kangs that turn.
That would have been real bad for me.
But I needed also to keep one of the Tallymans in my hand.
If you'd gone for the other Kang, I would have had to do an earlier, less effective but not trivial Kang explosion, and I probably had a good chunk at that point. I didn't have 20, but I probably could have.
I think I had both attacks over by 7. Could you have hit that then?
Not sure. I might have been able to. I probably could have gotten about 10. I was probably about halfway there. But it certainly would have been costly.
Right. Which means it was maybe a worthwhile thing to do. But I couldn't team attack.
Well,
man, Sight Blows. What an annoying card. It's always my
the
undoing.
Spheres
of Solitude. Yeah, sorry. It's so important to team attack against Kang.
It's well, especially when you're playing a below curve, I kill your shit with Char Axis on a team attack deck.
Oh man, well, that was a long night.
I'm sorry that Spheres is so thwarty.
Well, it's not broken, and it's just in this one deck. And it's one of those things like
it always seems to matter.
It circumstantially feels really crucial. Yeah. But it's not. Like, it's just like, randomly, often when you're fighting Kang, you really need that team attack.
It's funny.
Which also means you're very clever in your application of it. Although,
sometimes
really,
more than others.
Sometimes
it's an
if I have two characters and you pick one, they can't team attack.
Right. Well, it's a funny thing because, it's definitely potent, but I can't change what it targets, so depending on when I target it, that's a character that you potentially then lose, and it's just no longer doing its thing. But it's definitely a linchpin play thing that always seems to be just useful enough to thwart something. Whether it's foiling a plot twist, which it can do circumstantially. If you've got like a team-stamped plot twist, I could flip it to interrupt and foil your targeting. It can do some really annoying crap. And so it's definitely a strong card. But novel.
Right, well, I am wiped. I started that tired.
Yeah, you started the night.
Super long game. It was a super long night. We're going to say goodbye to our audience.
Yep.
Thanks for watching us, nobody.
Yep.
We'll see you next week, or won't.
Honestly, the
2 weeks from now, actually. So.
Big win for the night for me, by far, was eating Beast Boy. that
Freezing?
Just eating him.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.